Big Dumb Movie is a comedic podcast that often contains obscene language and outlandish commentary. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Big Dumb Movie, where we discuss movies of the big dumb variety. I'm your host, Korey, and I'm joined today with two friends. First up, the OG Big Dumb Movie companion, Alan.
What up? I'm back.
Welcome back, Alan. It's good to have you. Also, you may remember this man from our Kazam episode. It's the fantasy hustler himself, Alex.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be back.
Thank you guys both for being here. We're Big Dumb Movie, and we're living up to our name this time, truly. Because this movie is something else, man. Alan, you decided that we should do a podcast on Freddy Got Fingered. What the fuck were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking when I did this. I knew of the movie. I knew what it was about. Everyone knows Tom Green, or I guess I'd be shocked if you didn't, but I didn't realize how bad it would be.
Alan, you have a tendency to say, let's do a podcast on X movie, and I assume it's because you like it or you want to make fun of it, and it turns out it's some fucking movie you've never seen. You did this exact same shit with Theodore X, White House Down, and Over the Top. Now, that was a long time ago, but I still have a little bit of grudge I'm holding on to with that, obviously.
And it's still alive with this movie.
Still alive, yeah. The grudge continues. The grudge has grown stronger. With this, Freddy Got Fingered. This is, of course, the Tom Green movie, from 2001. This was an era of kind of like weird MTV gross out / absurdist style comedy. And that's being pretty generous, I think. Some people might just say it's stupid humor. I don't know if there might be another word that's a little bit more offensive to use, but I want to talk about this era first, right? Because if you watch Freddy Got Fingered, you have to put the era in context, I think. Alex, I'm going to go to you first. There was this late 90s, early 2000s, MTV fad. I think it even bled into movies like Road Trip, American Pie. We can talk about some of those if you want, but what are some of kind of your memories from that era? I know you were alive and well during that era. What is it that you remember from that kind of MTV era?
Especially just MTV. Tom Green's the one who kind of ushered in this really stupid style of comedy, and then it comes to Jackass and then everything that we have ever since then. But Tom Green seems like the first guy who was just doing the most outlandish shit.
So you remember his show?
Yes. I don't remember too much from it. I remember how stupid it was, for sure.
Just buying some of these condoms here, because I'm planning on making love to a woman tonight, and I'm really excited about that. And condoms, they help prevent sexually transmitted diseases and pregnancy, and both of those things I don't think I'm really mature enough to handle at this stage of my life, although Al Capone did die of syphilis, so there is an element of glamour to that. So I'm just going to buy these condoms. Do I pay for them over there? Okay. So you're probably going to visualize me making love to a woman when I walk away, and that's fine. I know that's probably a hard thing to wrap your head around, visualizing that, but I'll pay for them over here, okay? I'm just going to buy these condoms.
Okay.
Because I'm planning on making love to a woman tonight, and I'm really excited about that. Okay?
All right.
You're probably saying to yourself, boy, who's the lucky lady who's going to get to spend the evening with this man of steel? Anyways, I'll just pay for those.
Okay.
This is the Tom Green Show. It's not the Green Tom Show. This is my favorite show. Because it is my show. It's the Tom Green Show.
The Tom Green Show is what you're talking about. Now, the Tom Green Show predates this movie, Freddy Got Fingered, but obviously there's a direct line, right? The Tom Green Show was very popular with MTV, so eventually this movie came out. I do remember that show. I loved it at the time. I thought it was amazing. So I'm just going to put that cards on the table. I thought he was amazing. I thought he was the funniest person ever. It's a god-awful piece of shit. The comedy of the Tom Green Show is and I shouldn't even say it is this, because this is something he did in a show. He has a microphone. He puts a turd on the microphone. Then he goes and he puts it in people's face and interviews them on the street. That's Tom Green stuff. That's literally one of his bits. Now, you might say that's like a talentless like hack job to do, maybe. Because like anyone could do that, you know, and not really, it doesn't really take anything to do that. Like if you look at Jackass, they're doing stunts, right? Like no one, I mean, you could just do that, but no one would. It's really easy to put a piece of shit on a microphone and put it in someone's face. It's not a hard thing to do. It doesn't require a lot. Anyway, Tom Green Show, great answer, right? Obviously fits nicely with this. I'm going to talk about a few things. One of them is the Andy Dick Show, which came out slightly after the Tom Green Show. It was like skits, the Andy Dick Show. But the thing that I thought was really funny about that is there's a skit where Tom Green dressed like Andy Dick and Andy Dick dressed like Tom Green, and they went out on the streets and played each other and fucked with people as each other. I thought there was a little bit of creativity in that. And also, you guys should look up the videos for this, but they look fucking spot on. It's really weird seeing them as each other. Tom Green, like with a shaved face, and the Andy Dick blonde 90s hair. It's pretty good. I have a lot of things from this era. This is like my era. But Alan, I know you probably have some things that you liked back then. Were you a TRL guy?
Oh, Carson Daly, dude. TRL. TRL, Carson Daly, Jackass. That was my jam. That was definitely a whole generational thing, like you mentioned. There was a weird emergence of that in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s. And right here, 2001, this is the perfect middle of this. And this is where it all culminates. Tom Green's at his peak. He can do whatever he wants. I think he got like $14 million to make this movie. That's insane. To get $14 million to make a movie about nonsense. He got $14 million because it was so hot. This style, like you mentioned, absurdist. The word I like to think of it is random. It's an easy way to think of it, just randomness.
It's the definition of random.
Yeah. That's the whole style.
Especially because at the time, that was the word to use.
Yeah.
That was the adjective. That remember when we were in high school?
Yep.
Random was like the popular word.
That's the style of humor. And Tom Green, like you mentioned, he combined it with a gross out, disgusting kind of twist to it. But a part of that was randomness. It was how disgusting can it be and how random can it be? And together it was the funniest thing ever.
In retrospect, though, Tom Green, he's like one of those like weird drama kids from high school, you know? The kids that yell a lot like that. You know, they're always like, ah!
Like he had undiagnosed OCD or ADHD or something.
Yeah.
And he just went crazy.
I mean, I feel like in this movie, which we'll talk about soon,
He does.
he's
have,
just
like,
playing
ADD.
someone who's mentally impaired, right? Like, he's just a guy with problems. Like,
I made a couple notes about that because I thought that was funny. But yeah, you know, you're right. He's just, it goes beyond random where now he's just being dumb. Like, and I guess it's still funny, but like you said, he's just mentally impaired.
it's like being nice, right? I'm trying to...
He's got a couple screws loose.
Alex, were there any like movies from that era that you really liked? Because, you know, I talked about like American Pie and Road Trip. I think American Pie was kind of like the one that set the stage, especially for like movie posters. Because picture movie posters from the early 2000s, white background, teens standing together, red text. They were all that poster.
Right.
For me, it was Road Trip. I mean, that you can't even do it now because the whole movie's based on like around only having landlines and not cell phones. But amazing nonetheless. And Tom Green, amazing in that movie. He's amazing in small doses.
That was his first movie. You're absolutely right. He had a very small part in Road Trip. He wasn't on the road trip, you know, so you didn't have to endure him. But like, there is some cool stuff in Road Trip. I still have some respect for Road Trip and Euro Trip. Euro Trip, my favorite scene is with Xena, Warrior Princess.
Mm-hmm.
She's like the, what do they call it? Like the BDSM queen. There's a word for that. Like
Dominatrix.
Dominatrix. And she has like the fucking like dildo stretcher with like, like the 4 dildos that expands. Like, that part is pretty funny. I think Road Trip has some good shit with DJ Qualls. That dude's
yeah.
pretty fucking legit. Even him, right? He was kind of like a thing back then, like with the new guy. Stuff
Pretty
like
sure that was his first movie.
Yeah.
Road Trip.
I get Road Trip and Euro Trip mixed up. Which one was the one where he made out with his sister?
It's got to be Euro Trip.
I think they got drunk at the club and then when he made out with his sister.
That's Euro Trip. Yeah,
Okay,
his
that's the
sister's
one.
Harriet the Spy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I get those movies mixed up.
All grown up.
Probably because they're just both trips.
Especially like American Pie and Road Trip, there's like so many straight to DVD like sequels, right? Like Road Trip, The Awakening. And it's just like random people you've never heard of, like no Tara Reid, no.
Or they slowly take out actors one by one. Like it's missing the main guy, but everyone else is still there. And the next one will have 2 less people until it's unrecognizable.
Yeah, that's like American Wedding. Like Oz wasn't in that for some reason. And then he came back, I think, for the one after that.
It's because he was doing rollerball.
Rollerball? Wow, what a project. Alan actually pitched that we do
I
rollerball.
did pitch that one.
And I basically said, hell nah.
I think I called it speedball.
You did.
I was like, wait, that's not what that is.
There was like a bunch of hype for rollerball in like metal magazines back then because like Slipknot was going to be in it. I don't even know if they made it to the final cut of the movie or not. I don't remember. But yeah. Okay. Thanks for that bit of trivia.
But back to the 2000s.
There's an MTV show that I want to talk about from that era. And I know we're going on for a bit, but I like to do this. No one seems to talk about it. And I fucking love this show. It was called Undressed. It came on late night on MTV. It was on the 10 spot. You guys remember the fucking 10 spot? It was like, we're going to show a little bit edgier stuff late at night. It was basically like a soap opera that is like softcore porn. You guys don't remember Undressed?
I know.
I remember the name. I'm trying to think now. I remember that.
The Green Ranger himself was on a couple episodes of that.
You want to ravish me? Well, that's an idea, all right. Not exactly work-related.
Okay. You want work-related? The drummer from Lala left this in my office. Here. What do you think?
What is it? Looks like a collar for a very tiny chihuahua.
It's not a collar, Carl. It's a ring for a very special part of your body.
Wow.
I want our partnership to be multifaceted. Do you think that we should put this into your log before we do a product test? Remember, it is my idea, and I wouldn't want you taking credit for it.
And this is mine.
But it was like multiple stories kind of going on at once. And it was all about like people hooking up and having sex in college and the problems that come along with that. I fucking love that show. Like I said, it was like basically super soft porn, but very nostalgic for me, you know, at 14 years old watching Undressed.
I remember it now, but I never watched it.
Do you guys get into like the dating shows like Next?
No, but I remember those. There was a lot of those.
I remember them, but yeah, not a lot of them.
God damn, man. Okay, there was one called Dismissed.
Dismissed. I remember that one.
Dismissed came out before Next. It was my dream when I was 15 to be on Dismissed. But it didn't run long enough. It was only like one season. So
was that the one where they had to meet their parents?
No, Dismissed was there was 2 guys and 1 girl, or 2 girls and 1 guy. Mm-hmm. So like one person has like 2 opportunities, right? It was kind of like the predecessor to Next, where like they had more than 2, but you dismiss the one you don't like. So they go on like these group dates, and you get to pick one or the other, and you say, blah, you are dismissed, and then it ends, you know. Do you guys remember Singled Out from the 90s?
Yeah. Yes, with Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah, dude. Now that was the fucking shit.
They had a bunch of people on that one, or they like speed ran that one. I remember there was like always a lot of people, and they like narrowed it down.
Yeah, it would be like 50 people or some shit. And they'd be like, do you want cute and horny or hot and horny or whatever?
They would just like cut people down. They're like, you're out. This whole half is gone until they get to the last guy.
We're going to narrow down these 50 guys there to less using height, body, chest hair, commitment, weekends, kissing style. Jenny, is everyone signed in up there?
Well, you know what? I followed everyone and found out how they spend their weekends. Then we snooped around and found out how they feel about commitment. And we even know how tall they are, right, Sky High?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Back to you, Chris.
It's the in-depth probing, Jenny, that makes you the commentator that you are.
Thank you.
Alicia, where would you like to begin?
Let's start with weekends.
All right, weekends. We have lazy or crazy. Who do you want to get rid of?
Gosh, I like to have fun on the weekends, so the lazy ones have got to go.
Lazy,
All right,
all you lazy boys, go home to your recliners.
move it.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was funny. I remember that one more than the other ones, and that one was earlier.
Yeah,
That was
it was
early.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
MTV was like a very like horny channel, you know? It was like very sexualized. Eventually, the path leads us somewhere along the lines to Freddy Got Fingered. we'll talk about this movie. Steve's not here to tell us how this movie was made. That's a story I'd love to hear.
Steve's our technical details guy.
The thing about Steve is there's literally no way in hell I could get him to watch this movie. Like, it would be a cold day in hell that Steve would do a podcast on something like this.
He has standards.
Unlike us cretins.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll watch it. Steve's like, no, I know what this is about. I'm not going to put myself through that.
I'm surprised he has seen stuff like this before. I'm sure he has, because Steve has seen everything. But it's interesting to me that at some point in time, Steve sat down and watched this start to finish.
I think it's like us mostly. I think it's just a generational thing. Because there's no way in hell he'd do it now. But at the time or when we were younger, it was that was the thing.
When Tom Green was the hot shit.
Yep.
X-ray cat. You can't get me. You can't get me. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes. See you later. The bananas. I know a banana. Apply for jobs. Telephone repairman. Guy came and said, "You want a job here?" And he said, "Yeah, I want to get jobs." Telephone repairman said, "You got the job. You got the job, buddy." And then the beavers came. The beaver started yelling at another beaver. The beaver started yelling at the other beaver.
Tom Green was allowed to direct the movie. Freddy got fingered. The beginning of this movie opens up with his drawings. But Alex, maybe you can tell us a little bit more beyond the drawings. What do we see here in the intro with Tom Green, and what is he doing?
So he's doing voiceover acting, is what it looks like for his cartoons. And oh man, I mean, it really starts off this stupid movie on a real stupid, not even a tangent. We just don't even know where it's going about for these first couple seconds. We see he's got all these cartoons, and we have no idea what he's doing. He's just on his bed in his room.
He laughs like a maniac.
That part.
He actually is mentally disabled.
Yeah. I think what they're trying to set up here is the cool moron, right?
Okay.
He's
a misunderstood genius.
No.
Unfortunately, that's later what they try to sell it as. That's kind of his character arc, right? He's actually the misunderstood genius, but we get to see him skate through the mall. And I think that's part of why we're supposed to think he's so cool in the beginning. Obviously, he's the main character. We get to see Tom Green do his one skate trick, which anytime he was on a skateboard in a show, he has the one. Do you remember the trick, Alex?
I mean, was it the board slide?
No.
That was the board flip with the hand where he kind of pivots off his foot and spins the board.
He gets off the board, he flips it all around in his hand
and
just
jumps back on
jumps back caveman back on.
Yeah.
Weak.
It made him look way too cool. You know, if you were a skater, in the late 90s, early 2000s, you just had a couple tricks in your arsenal. You can make a whole montage, just through a mall or something in any movie.
For me, being a skater at the time, I was very unimpressed by this skate scene. I thought it was kind of cool they were skating through a mall, because that was stuff we did when I was a teenager. Now he's far removed from being a teenager, right?
He's 28, I think, in the movie, and probably older at the time, or right about that.
But I was kind of unimpressed, because we would watch a lot of skate videos and see people do really epic shit, and then you got Tom Green just doing a board slide that he doesn't even ollie into, right? He just lifts up in front of his trucks and board slides. Then he does his one trick. It's he's really a one-trick pony on a skateboard, but that's fine.
I want to see him frontside flip down the 13th.
Exactly, bro.
Some epic gap where he's about to die if he doesn't land.
Switch.
Switch, nollie, 360 heel flip.
That would actually be dope. That's the kind of shit we got in Jackass, which was cool. We actually got good skateboarding, but...
Shout out to Bam, professional skateboarder.
Yeah, get help, dude.
I know, he's fucked up now. That's sad. We'll come back to that.
Alan, what is the beginning of this movie? What's happening here? Gord is Tom Green. He's saying goodbye to his family. What's the scene like? What's going on?
So, he's saying goodbye to his family because he's going to go to Los Angeles to work at the cheese sandwich factory. Or is it cheese sandwich?
It's the cheese sandwich factory, yeah.
Cheese sandwich factory, and become a cartoonist. But this part, I never saw the movie, and I should have been surprised, but this part, up until this part, it seemed like a normal movie for the first 5 minutes. And I actually did like the X-Ray Cat, his cartoon.
It's misdirecting you, right? Into it's going to be a normal movie. It's all right.
I'm off to Los Angeles to achieve my dreams. Thanks, Dad. And his dad buys him a LeBaron, which is a shitty car. And it was still shitty 23 years ago.
I think that joke is subtle enough that it works for me. He's like, I got you a LeBaron. And I'm like, fucking LeBaron.
Shittiest car ever. But yeah, up until that point, it's like, oh, this is just going to be, well, not a normal movie, but it kind of tricks you, like you said. It starts off a little slow there.
Not a normal movie, but an approximation of a normal movie, right?
Right. Like, there's a glimmer there that it might be okay.
Mom, stop it. Mom, I'm a 28-year-old man. I'm a 28-year-old man.
28-year-old man. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm a 28-year-old man. My bus is about to leave, so I'm gonna get on it, and I'm gonna leave on it.
Son, wait.
What?
You're not taking that bus to Los Angeles.
You bought me a ticket on this bus to Los Angeles.
That's not all he bought you.
Boys and Special will be departing from Bay du Reed in 15 minutes. Stops at River, the Dales, LeGrand, Baker City.
Here. It's yours. Hop in.
Oh.
Come on, you're driving.
It's a LeBaron.
You bet your boots it's a LeBaron. Good car. Convertible.
Jeez, a convertible. This says #1 son on the license plate. That's me. I'm the #1 son.
What about me, Mom?
You're #1 son, too.
But how come Gord gets a LeBaron and I don't?
It's because they love me more than they love you.
No, they don't.
Oh, yeah, I only see one LeBaron, Freddy. I only see one. I don't see two LeBarons.
Gordy.
Oh, do you see two?
Gordy.
Hey. Do you see two LeBarons?
Gordy.
Knock it off.
Where's your LeBaron, Freddy? Where's your LeBaron?
There's some weird stuff going on. Like, there's small stuff in this movie that's just like weird filmmaking. There's also small stuff that I think is good filmmaking that I'll talk about. But, for example, his dad, played by Rip Torn, and his mother, played by Julie Haggerty, they're there at the bus station, right? You think he's going to take a bus to California, but he actually gets the car. But they have their dogs with them. It's small stuff like that in this movie that I'm like, there's something off. I don't know if it's intentional. Like, is it a sign that this movie's going to just be off the wall? Because that's a small thing.
And I think there were Dalmatians.
Yeah.
And that's funny you mentioned that, because I didn't make a note about that, but I did notice that. And in my head, I was like, that's a little odd, or what a weird, like, why would you do that? Just because?
And then when he gets in the car and he's like driving away, he's like, bye, everyone, bye. I thought it was going to be like a Pee-wee's Big Adventure like joke where he immediately crashes. Did you guys think that was about to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I'll make you really make you real proud, Daddy. I'll make you real proud. Get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, he just yelled at the guy. Yeah.
You make your daddy proud. You hear me?
I'm gonna make you proud, Daddy. I'm gonna make you so proud.
You make your daddy proud.
You're gonna be so proud.
Proud?
Proud. Get the fuck out of the way!
No, but that is good shit.
Well,
he's a psycho.
Right after this, I made a specific note about this, because right after this is when the movie, I knew it was over, because he's driving to Los Angeles and he pulls over to the side of a farm, and then right there, I knew it was over when he sees the horse, and I was like, okay, this is it. I don't know what I expected.
Alan, for old school listeners, people know that you love talking about animals in movies. Like, do you remember we did some movie, I think it was like White House Down, and your biggest complaint was there are no animals in this movie? I don't remember which movie it was. Independence Day, you got really into the dog, Boomer.
Oh, Boomer? Yeah.
What'd you think of the horse scene, Alan? Right up your alley, huh?
Oh, yeah. Right up my alley, watching Tom Green basically molest a horse and yell about how he's a farmer. I'm a farmer, and he's just, oh my God.
What are you doing to that horse?
This is a stud farm, boy.
I want to try the horsey.
Hey, don't climb
I want
that
to try
fence.
the horsey.
You can't come over here.
Oh, this is fun. Look at me, Daddy. I'm a farmer. Oh, this is fun. Look at me, Daddy. I'm a farmer. Daddy.
Typical Tom Green right there.
When you say molest a horse, some people might not have seen this movie. What does he do?
Gives it a hand job.
Like, literally jerks off a horse, right,
Jerks
Alex?
off a horse.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like swinging it around like a helicopter propeller.
And back to our mentally
like
impaired
like
person.
Skip it. Like,
He's yelling about being a farmer and just playing with a horse dick. When the whole thing was he was supposed to be a cartoonist. Like, whose farm is that? Whose horse is that? This guy's just insane.
Yeah, I think, you realize what you're in for at this point.
Yeah, I made a note. This is where I knew it was downhill.
And there's only about, 15 minutes into the movie, 20 minutes in.
I got bamboozled. I thought it was going to be somewhat normal.
I watched the Roper and Ebert video where they reviewed this. It used to be Siskel and Ebert, then it was Ebert and Roper or whatever. And of course they hated this movie. And this was one of their big complaints, playing with animal dicks, is the comedy in this movie. That's the level we're dealing with.
Yep.
But to me, it's funny to think about, kind of like Steve, to think about Roger Ebert sitting through this whole fucking movie.
What is the most disgusting film of 2001? Well, let's see. In a field that includes T-Spot Run, Monkey Bone, Tomcats, and Joe Dirt, so we got some great contenders.
Yeah.
The champion is Freddy Got Fingered, with Tom Green making David Spade look like Jim Carrey and Jim Carrey look like Laurence Olivier. It's a vomitorium of a movie starring Green as Gord, an obnoxious retard who makes it his life's work to freak out his dad, played with teeth-gnashing scorn by Rip Torn. Life for Gord is an exercise in manic excess. Even taking a shower leads to the toilet. The MPAA gave this movie an R rating. That's definitive evidence that the MPAA ratings board is morally adrift and that we need a workable adult rating for movies like this.
You're absolutely right. This is ground zero. It has to be ground zero of bad comedies. And Tom Green with this horse and with this elephant, if a woman was doing that, this movie would be banned in Tijuana, let alone getting an R rating. And it's just so horrible. And he's such an unfunny guy. He should be flipping burgers somewhere. Why is Tom Green getting movies? And who wants to see this guy? Even in a stupid comedy, there has to be a setup before you have a punchline. This is just, hey, let's just do a bunch of punchlines. And the punchlines are, let's do gross out stuff. Let's do jokes, like you said, about child molestation. But there's nothing to even set up the bad taste humor.
I know. I want to get into a little...
The humor is not in the movie. It's making others suffer through your movie. It's playing 3D chess. I don't care about this movie, but you have to watch it. That's what's funny.
Also, dude, I was looking at comments on YouTube about this movie because I was watching some clips. And so many people were like, a lot of people just don't get this movie. It's actually supposed to be bad. What kind of argument is that? Does that make it good that it's supposed to be bad? You could film a piece of shit for 2 hours and it's supposed to be bad, but that doesn't make it good, right? The fact that it's... What kind of argument is that?
You should have replied to their comments. What kind of argument is that? No, you're right. And there's nothing funnier in the early 2000s than dicks.
It's still kind of funny.
Yeah, but they were extra funny. It was dicks and anything crude like that.
Right, because we didn't get a lot of that. Mm-hmm. Roger Ebert said something maybe it was Roper. They said this movie would be banned even in Tijuana if it was a woman doing that. Which is true, man. If a woman was jerking off that horse, this would be considered fucking illegal porn.
Illegal porn, not just porn something depraved.
Yeah.
But no, Tom Green's funny. Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably very few people that actually could have got this put in a movie with just an R rating.
Absolutely, man.
Even fewer people besides probably only Tom Green that would actually do that.
And who would want to? It doesn't service the movie in any real way. But I guess that's the first of many things that we'll talk about in this movie that are just things that happen. It's just an excuse for Tom Green to get up to some shenanigans. Maybe he's into the horse thing, and the movie is just a pretense so he can jerk off a horse and live his dream.
And you got $14 million to do it.
14 fucking million.
Living the dream.
So Tom Green, he moves to LA and he gets a job. As so many people do, you got to come to LA to make it. That's why we're here, Alan, after all, to make it in podcasting. That's why we moved here. He gets a cheese factory job. What'd you think, Alex?
It's exactly what I expected. It's a big factory. It's a big assembly line. And of course he finds a big sausage and just puts it right there like it's his cock and just starts swinging it around, hitting people in the face and...
Immediately gets up to some bullshit.
Right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
This goes back to what you just said. One of my critiques of the movie, other than how just dumb it was, is that it felt very disjointed. Where just like you said, it was just... the whole story was just a vessel for him to do random things in different scenes.
Exactly. Yes.
It like barely tied together in a story. The story barely held together. But it's like, okay, Tom Green's going to do this now. Now he's going to do this weird thing. And it's just him doing weird shit like that.
Really just like a bunch of skits kind of like thrown in together.
With like a loose story.
Yeah.
Just so he can fuck with extras. Like,
are you guys leaving? You guys leaving?
I saw most of the making of this movie. He did like a special where he was filmed, you know, on the set, and he was doing interviews about the movie itself and stuff like that. And he really reveled in abusing his extras.
Everybody knows that senior citizens are stupid. That's why we cast most of our extras in the movie between the ages of 65 and 90.
Ding dong! Ding dong! Ding dong! Ding dong!
I just hope that none of my friends go if I end up in it.
We wanted these stupid idiots to get surprised when we did things to them that they weren't expecting. We sprayed a bunch of old people with water in the movie. They were just sitting there all old, you know, and just not expecting anything, you know, just thinking, oh, okay, we're in a movie, we're all old. And then...
Which I guess is funny to him, but like, what a fucking asshole. Like,
torturous to them.
Yeah, god damn. Dude, these people are like trying to like scrape, they're getting paid scale, you know, which is Hollywood minimum wage, so that they can be in a movie with no lines just to get fucked with by this asshole for this piece of shit movie that won like 5 Razzies or something. Good lord, man.
You think they know what they signed up for, being a movie with Tom Green?
I don't know, man. They're just like these old Asian ladies. Like, I don't think they even like understood. They're like, I'll take any work you give me, you know?
I'm Dave Davidson. Is there a problem?
Mr. Davidson?
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yeah, officer, really. Is there a problem here, or...?
I'm not really a cop. My name's Gord, and I want to meet you to show you my drawings.
Your drawings? Are you kidding?
Mr. Davidson, I'm an animator. I've got this show idea I want to pitch to you. It's a cartoon. Okay, it's about this cat. He's got these superpowers that can see through wooden doors. Okay, it's crazy. He solves crimes. He can fly. Okay, my friends and I, we all think it's hilarious. Okay, it's crazy. No, we can fly like this. He flies like this. It's crazy.
All right, well, listen, I'm glad your friends enjoy it, okay? Tell me something. What do you want?
Okay, I want you to help me make it into a TV show.
Okay, so let me get this right. You want to just barge into a restaurant, dress like a fucking English Bobby, and expect someone to give you a TV show?
I don't know, yeah?
Do me a favor, leave me alone.
Please,
Valet?
please.
Yes, sir.
Please, just look at my drawings, okay?
Yeah, okay, all right, fine.
Oh, this is where he meets David Davidson.
Yeah, why
that
don't
was
you
my
tell us
favorite
about
character.
it?
I don't even know who played it. What was the actor? I think I've seen him in other stuff.
Oh, I'm sure Alex knows. Anthony Michael Hall.
I believe so.
Is that him?
Yeah, it's Anthony Michael Hall. You know, he was in
That's
like The
it.
Breakfast Club,
Yeah,
16
that's him.
Candles.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite role of him was in Edward Scissorhands as like the villain. What goes down there, Alan, with the meeting with Dave Davidson?
Well, the meeting is basically Tom Green. This is another random one where it just kind of goes into random scenes where Tom Green's dressed as an English Bobby, which is a cop. But
yes,
David Davidson specifically calls him a Bobby, which I thought was kind of funny. Very small thing there. But he goes in the restaurant frantic. Every scene is him just being frantic and
screaming in people's
screaming
faces.
at people and just making a scene. Every scene is just him being as crazy as he can. So he's in this restaurant dressed like an English Bobby, and then he meets David Davidson, and his whole plan is to just burst in there and show him his cartoons. And I thought it was funny when he asked him that. He's like, so you're just going to come in here dressed like a Bobby, show me your cartoons, and think I'm going to do it? And he's like, yeah. Just the response.
And then the things that Dave Davidson says to him, it's almost like a critique of the script.
Okay, listen, the drawings are pretty good, but it doesn't make any sense, okay? It's fucking stupid, okay? What you need here is elevation, okay? There actually has to be something that happens that's actually funny. What the fuck is happening here?
He's like, it doesn't make any sense. There has to be something there. Like, none of this makes any sense. And I'm like, God damn, he's talking about this fucking movie.
Fucking fourth dimensional. He's like talking about the movie he's in.
Yes.
His brain probably just goes there, right? Someone gives him some stupid pitch and he's already thinking of how he could make these stupid things better.
Yes.
I did like his acting though. I thought that was a funny character, just because his whole thing was he was just a dick.
He's a great actor, actually. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. He was funny, and he was asking him. He's like, "You have the characters, but he's like, they have to do something." He's like, "What the hell's happening here?"
Yeah, so you know, Tom Green's dreams of being an animator are kind of like immediately squashed here, right? And that's kind of like the overarching story in this movie, his kind of like quest to becoming an animator, because, you know, he's the misunderstood genius, right? There's something there, but he's a true artist. He's wacky, he's crazy, and no one just gets him, man.
You just don't understand X-Ray Cat.
Were you tripped out, Alex, by seeing Tom Green's ex-wife, Drew Barrymore, in this movie?
I was gonna just bring that up. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't tripped out by seeing it, but it's funny that she did a little cameo in there, and of course he tries to hit on her, like after he says how his wife's dead, and she's all freaking out, and tries to start hitting on her right then.
He did love Linda.
I know.
You know, I think it's wonderful when two people love one another, and even though there's always a chance that one of those two people will die a gruesome, horrible death, that doesn't make me fear love. I'm not afraid of love. Could I be your boyfriend? I love you.
Get out of here.
No, I'm just thinking.
A woman is dead. Linda is dead.
I thought we could grieve together over the dead Linda, over the dead woman, over the woman.
Fuck off! You're a skinny loser! Someone call security!
Don't call them.
Shit! Security!
Don't call them, okay?
He's a real sleazeball in there, but his timing was impeccable though. Like if it was a different movie, the timing might have worked.
I don't know how he got with Drew Barrymore in real life. That baffles me to this fucking day. Even back then, I was like, how did he bag Drew Barrymore?
Did they actually get married or no?
Yeah, they were married for about a year.
Oh my!
I mean, he made $14 million just off of this movie. I mean, you know, he's making some dough in Hollywood.
Yeah, but she could have had like any Hollywood guy she wanted at the time. She was hot shit, dude. Like,
so she picks the craziest guy.
She picks the fucking most insane lunatic. And I don't know. Tom Green is a chud, dude. He's not a handsome man. Personality, looks
average at best. I mean, yeah, he's just a dude.
Yeah.
Maybe she'd been around the regular guys of Hollywood too much. I mean, she's been around Hollywood since she was like 5 years old.
I could see that. That's true. She's like, I want the fucking lunatic. He's different.
Spice it up.
Yeah.
I will say this kind of, I guess, in the positive of the scene with Anthony Michael Hall. When Anthony Michael Hall Davidson tells him, like, no, like, you need something better. Tom Green freaks out and immediately pulls a gun to blow his own fucking brains out. That was kind of funny.
It doesn't make any sense, Gordon. It sucks. The drawings are pretty good, but the characters are lame, okay?
God, the characters are lame. I'm a loser. I wish I was dead. Oh!
Gordon, listen, wait. Listen. I'm trying to give you a piece of advice. Will you stop? I'm trying to give you a piece of advice. You gotta figure these animals out. You gotta figure them out. You gotta get inside the animals, okay? Figure them out. Will you take that out of your mouth? I can't understand what the hell you're saying.
I gotta get inside the animals?
Get inside the animals.
You mean I shouldn't blow the brains out of the back of my skull?
No. You shouldn't blow the brains out of the back of your skull, okay? Now look, you want to play in the big leagues? You gotta work on this 24 hours a day, son. You gotta give it weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months and years.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I laughed at that. That David Davidson's response was just not even there.
Yeah.
Like you didn't think that was a real gun. You just didn't care that he pulled out a gun.
Yeah, like he didn't like say,
He didn't
holy
acknowledge
shit.
it. Like, please stop! Don't blow your brains out.
Give me the gun.
He's used to that happening. That's what I took from that. It's like he's told someone that their ideas suck, and that's been like a response before.
Zero response to him pulling out a gun.
It's not the first time you've seen a man blow his own brains
I
out.
forgot about that part.
After he's turned him down. I guess that's the life of a Hollywood animation executive, you know?
You just see suicidal people all the time.
Davidson does give Tom Green, Alex, some key advice.
Oh, yeah.
Which he takes literally. He says, you draw these animals, but there's nothing inside. You have to get inside the animals. So Tom Green does quit his cheese factory job, very lucrative position, I'm sure, and heads back home, but he makes a stop on the way. What does he do?
So he sees there's a deer in the middle of the road, and he starts thinking about this advice. Get inside the animals. Get inside the animals. So he proceeds to skin the deer and kind of wear it as a robe, a cape. And yeah, up until a semi-truck hits him. That was super random, and he loved it. He got so excited by getting hit. I did not see that one coming.
The whole scene was typical Tom Green, like we're talking about, where he's just yelling and making noises, like bloody, like animal skin. It's just it's the same shit we're just saying. He's just making noises in the road. He's just full lunatic at this point.
Yeah, dude. It's a very typical Tom Green scene, right? For him to just like scream and do something nasty at the same time.
Spurg out.
The thing that I remember from being a kid was that Tom Green did get sponsored by Birdhouse.
Okay.
And even though he sucked, he wasn't a good skater. I think I remember some of the other people on the Birdhouse team like making fun of him. Like, wow, Tom Green. The dude is not very good. Anyway, he got a skateboard made. His deck, the Tom Green board, was Tom Green with like wearing the deer.
Oh
like
my
the
God.
cut up deer on his head.
Yeah.
Like, the antlers on his head and all that. The only thing I didn't like about that scene was that Tom Green's character didn't die when he got hit by the semi-truck. That would have been very nice, right? Then what if suddenly it just became something else?
I thought the same thing. I didn't care too much, but he got hit by like full on by the semi-truck. I was like, okay, it's just a dumb movie, but it didn't really fit in. I was like, isn't he dead? It didn't fit in that he could just get hit by a semi-truck and be okay.
It's like that wacky slapstick,
Yeah,
it's like
but
a cartoon.
that part, I don't know, it just felt off.
Didn't think of it till right now. Is he just a superhero? And we
Yeah,
did not
that's what
know?
I felt. Like, okay, he's fine.
Is he the real X-ray cat?
Oh, I made a note though, but before that, there is another scene I made a note of where when he's driving back, at this part we see more horse dick, but it's actually just horses having sex. It's like the horse mounting the other horse, and there it is again. I'm like, he's not even in the scene this time. It's just filming horses mounting each other.
Yeah.
It's like, why? Why
Well,
is this
he's
happening?
watching it though from the side of the road while he eats a sandwich crazily. There are little bits in here that are like almost funny, and like that I think is one of them. Not the horse thing. That's just fuck.
Yeah.
What?
Why?
But the way he eats the sandwich, especially when I was like 13, 14, like that kind of stuff I did think was super funny. Just like him maniacally feeding his face with a sandwich.
I guess that's the least offensive thing he's done. Just eating a sandwich weirdly. Like, yeah, that's weird, but he's just eating a sandwich.
That's why they put the horse scene in there early. So it's like he could set the bar like for crazy, like really high, and then these other crazy things aren't even so crazy.
But somehow they are still as crazy.
So Tom Green makes the trip back home, much to his parents' dismay. Now we get to see like more involvement from his parents, namely his dad, because I think a lot of this movie is about his relationship with his dad. And I know I'm saying that like very analytically, but it's just cartoon chaos when you're watching the movie.
Korey, why don't you sit at the table? We're having roast beef.
Well, you guys always have roast beef.
Oh, boo-hoo, little Lord Fauntleroy's tummy hurts because there's too much roast beef in it.
This is boring. I'm eating a chicken sandwich.
No, you're not.
Holy shit, this is crazy. I'm a 28-year-old man. I should be able to eat a chicken sandwich if I want.
He's 28 years old and he can eat a chicken sandwich. Very impressive. Mike Fitzgibbon's son is a nuclear physicist, and my son can eat a chicken!
No!
You can either eat that goddamn roast beef or you can go to bed.
Rip Torn plays the dad pretty fantastically, I think. What'd you think of the dad in this movie, Alex?
He's a psycho, and he plays it really, really well. I mean, yeah, just every.
Can you blame him
person's
for being
nightmare.
a psycho?
No, not. Well, I mean, see, Freddy wasn't so bad, but yes, Gordo, yes, he's crazy. He's crazy. Make any parents crazy.
His whole thing, he's so focused on the job, though, which there's parts where I didn't get because, like you said, he's so focused if he could get a job. That's his biggest thing. He'll get a job, he'll be out of the house. But then the whole time thinking, like, okay, but he's still mentally disabled. Like, how is he going to keep a job? Is he going to work more than, like, a week?
This man is incapable of
Working.
holding a full-time job.
But and when he tells him he got a job, his dad's, like, the happiest ever. But I'm like, he's going to get fired. Like, he's still insane. Like, having a job cures everything else.
You're right.
Yeah.
Psychological help is needed for this man, clearly.
But Rip Torn thinks that having a job is the only answer, and it'll fix everything.
When I was a kid, I was like, man, his dad's a real shithead. But now I'm like, he's largely justified. This man has been tortured by this fucker for 28 years. You know? He's on the brink of insanity. Like, he's ready to kill at this point, you know? He's had enough of this shit. And I think Rip Torn plays that really well. There's one line that from this movie that I think is really good. I think it's really well written and well delivered. Rip Torn says,
That's your big brother. He couldn't handle the complexities of making a cheese sandwich, so now he's back at home with us.
My favorite line was when he hears him in the shower, and then he finds him in the scuba suit, but right before he's like turns off the water and he flushes the toilet, and then he says to himself, he's like, I hope he's not too stupid to know the difference between hot and cold. I laughed at that. Like, that was funny.
We get to see the local neighbor boy, Andy. We get his first incident of excruciating pain.
I thought this was the funniest part of the whole movie, to be honest.
The running bit of the kid getting hurt.
Getting owned. But this is the first part where he runs through the car door.
Yeah, he just face plants into it.
This scene is the funniest just because of how short it is and how perfect they made it, where he's like screaming and it's like super graphic, but it's only like 5 seconds, or it like cuts pretty fast.
This kid wails like he's really hurt.
Just blood everywhere.
That is a bone-chilling scream he gives. Like,
but then they just cut the scene and he's like, it's just done.
It might also be the best one because it's a case where like he's not being victimized. Like, this kid just ran up to the car and fucking fell like a clumsy idiot. Like
it's just his fault. Like no one did this to him. Yeah. That was funny. I really liked the kid scene, and then it comes back a couple times. But I laughed at that pretty hard. Oh, okay. And then Rip Torn, the dad, also lets him have a mini ramp like right outside their front door. That was kind of an odd place to put it.
Yeah, there's a mini skate ramp right there, and Gordo, Tom Green, is working on it with Harlan Williams, right? Who is, I guess, the one person in the world that can stand Gordo besides Betty, who we meet later. But he tries to ride the ramp, immediately, like, breaks his leg in, like, 4 places with, like, the bones popping out.
Compound fracture?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Your dad got, like, bowel problems?
Let's skate this thing.
Don't you think it's kind of dark, Gord? You gotta work tomorrow, you know?
You mean to say we've been working on this thing for years, we're finished now, and you're not going to try it out and enjoy the fruits of your labor?
I don't have the right shoes on. They're slippery and they got no sole.
Just enjoy the fruits here.
Don't say the fruits.
And then, classic Tom Green, who runs up and he, like, starts licking the wound.
This part, out of all of it, this one made me the most grossed out for some reason. It's just something weird, like the horse dick and all the other stuff, but something about, like, licking a graphic, like, fracture. It was just that one weirded me out.
The practical effect of the fake bone coming through the leg looks really good.
Yeah.
And then he licks
it's like cringeworthy, right?
Yeah.
It looks painful.
And then the dad, just so pissed off with their shenanigans, he just throws the skateboard, not even paying attention to what's happening, hits him right on the leg, right on the bone.
Yeah. And that's Harlan Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Classic actor from this era.
Yeah, I like that guy. That guy's good.
I'm sure you're a fan of his, like from Half Baked and stuff, right, Alex?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But they don't give him anything to do here.
He's just like Tom's friend.
He doesn't have any comedy. Like, he is actually funny in movies sometimes, like especially like Something About Mary, right? Like he's really funny in that, but it's just kind of sad that there's no room for him to be funny because the focus is on Tom Green screaming in people's faces.
But I made a note here on this scene when they're working on the ramp before he breaks his leg. Rip Torn yells out the window, and he calls him an F slur.
It's late. You're gonna wake up your parents.
You're right. I should probably use the electric nail gun.
Yeah.
Korey! What? Ahoy! Will you two faggots stop making so fucking much noise? We're sleeping.
And I noticed that just because it's funny.
I laughed at that too.
But this movie was 2001, the same year as Fast and the Furious, which also had an F slur, both before 9/11. So never forget what they took from us.
Hold on.
This was the last, 2001 was the last year where it was acceptable to say that in a movie.
Now, very famously, Alan, our first episode was on the Fast and the Furious where we got the year wrong. So I'm verifying.
It was 2001.
Okay.
Before 9/11. Where you're allowed to say F slurs in movies.
As soon as the towers fell, dude, F slurs were no longer cool.
Yeah, not cool. But in this movie, it was still cool. And he calls them that because they're working on the ramp.
I did laugh at that scene. I don't know why. Forgive me.
But yeah, I just made a note about that because, yeah, he yells at him and calls him that for working on the ramp. And then he breaks his leg.
And then, like, the next big scene of the movie is, like, Tom Green, Gordo, going to the hospital to visit Darren. A couple important things happen here. But Alex, one of them is that right next to Harlan Williams as Darren, there's a pregnant woman.
Oh, God.
And sorry, I didn't see that you were pregnant. And she's got her legs like all held up right there. And he's got his skateboard and he's making all this noise. And she's like, can you please just shut the fuck up? And, but he's ready, you know, like if that's one thing that I did notice about Gordo is like, he's ready to spring into action when anything happens, even someone being pregnant. She says, get the doctor. So what's he do? He gets the coat. I'm the doctor. Gets the stethoscope just to scream into it. Ah!
That was kind of fun. In a scene that's largely unfunny. I mean, it's funny to hear you describe it, actually. But in a scene that's largely unfunny, putting on the stethoscope and then screaming into it, that is kind of funny. Like, at least he's harming himself.
I actually made a note about this and I feel stupid, but I put a note specifically about that. I was like, can you really do that?
Like, blow out your eardrums?
Yeah, I thought it was just meant for, like, heartbeats.
No,
or
if you
can it
do,
take up
it amplifies sound to an insane...
all sound, though?
Yeah.
I
If
thought
you
it was
yell
just
at it, you
certain
will
sound.
fuck your ears out.
So it is. So it is real.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, wait, you can do that.
It's not like it's not just like a heart detector. It's not...
Well, no, I mean, but there's like different sound waves, or okay, but it does all sound.
Yeah. It'll absolutely hurt your ears if you do what he did.
And then he does his skateboard, his Tom Green skateboard.
This is one trick. He's got to do it. That's all he's got.
Trick in the hospital room, which is weird.
It's not exactly Eric Costin, you know.
My baby's coming! My baby is coming! Call the doctor, you fucking asshole!
Oh, it's okay. I'm a doctor.
No, give me a real doctor!
I am
Give
a
me
real
a real
doctor.
doctor!
I'm a real doctor. Ah!
Get away from me!
Here, spread your legs for me, okay?
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
I see the problem here. There seems to be a little baby inside your body. Here, give me your hand, little fellow. Give me your hand, little fellow.
And then, the pregnant lady just keeps getting more frantic until we get to the culmination.
Yeah, Alex, can you tell us about like how the delivery goes?
So she keeps screaming at him, saying, get the doctor. And he's like, I'm a doctor. Let's get this baby out of you. And he's like, open your legs. And she's like, so pissed. No. And, but he does it. He delivers the baby. The baby comes out. He grabs, like, as he pulls out the baby, he kind of like does a reverse Michael Jackson moonwalker lean, and he's like grabbing the baby in the umbilical cord, and the umbilical cord's like the only thing keeping him balanced. Then she tells him to cut the cord. He's like, why the hell do I have to do everything? Cuts it with his teeth. Just so gross. Cuts it with his teeth, and then the baby's not screaming or anything anymore. And then he kind of freaks out. And so what does he do to fix the situation? He swings the baby by the umbilical cord until I really thought that something bad was going to happen, but keeps swinging the baby like crazy. And then it cuts away from him, cuts back, and then the baby's like screaming in his hand, and it looks like a gentle person holding the baby.
Why isn't it crying?
It's sleeping?
Get me my baby!
Oh, wake up your baby! Oh, wake up your baby! Guys, wakey! Wakey, wakey! Wakey, wakey! Wakey, wakey! The baby's fine!
Good Lord, man.
I thought he was gonna eat the baby or like smash it on the wall or just something
Just
extreme.
like completely make the hero of the story like irredeemable. He just kills a newborn baby. This is fucking like human centipede shit. Like this.
I mean, he was pretty close. He was swinging it by the umbilical cord.
Yeah,
it was insane.
I don't know. It's weird. It's too much, right? It's like in pro wrestling. It's like, you know, when there's a bad guy in wrestling, you don't want him to go too far. It's like he goes too far right here. I think this is like probably the point where a lot of people that were like, maybe some stuff was funny, some stuff isn't. They're like, no.
Well, this is the problem with his style of humor is that you have to go to the next level because now horse steak isn't funny. So what's the next funny thing? I'm going to eat this baby or umbilical cord. Or you have to like go as crazy.
He doesn't
as
eat
you
the
can.
baby.
He doesn't. Okay, he doesn't. But he does eat the umbilical cord or he chews through it.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up. But yeah, that's the problem is you have to go further. You have to go more extreme. You have to just keep going and then you get weird stuff like this.
Is this comedy, guys?
Canadian comedy.
Canadians, sick fucks, dude.
I mean, I guess it's still part of the movie, so yeah, but this is probably the most extreme part.
This podcast has a very long and standing anti-Canadian stance, by the way.
I do love his reaction, though, when he's getting kicked out, because of course you're going to get kicked out. He's like, I'm the hero. I saved the day.
He's lucky he didn't go to prison.
Guess they don't appreciate their heroes around here.
Also here in the hospital is where we meet Betty. Right, very pretty girl, a nurse working in the hospital. Tom Green talks to her, and for some reason, she likes this guy. For reasons I'll never understand, right? Alan, what the fuck is the characterization of Betty? This is like some weird fucking like...
I can't even explain it, but I know what you're asking me. She's an odd character and like it has an odd personality.
It's like an incel fantasy woman of some kind, where like she wants to be beat and then she sucks your dick. What a dream, right? She's okay with all your stupid bullshit. You just beat her, and then she'll suck your dick. Dream woman, boom.
She's like a female simp. Yeah. But yeah, she's really weird how like perky she is. And the best part is when he goes to her house and she's making like rockets, but in the background she's like blasting hip hop. I think it's like Jay-Z.
Is she?
Yeah.
Kind of go to a movie or something. Hi. How are you?
Be a lot better if you'd smack my legs with this bamboo.
What?
Just whack it against my shins as hard as you can, okay?
Guess. How's that?
Oh, come on, Gordy. You can do better than that. What are you, a little puss?
A puss? Pussy.
Come on. Come on, pussy. You can do better than
Pussy,
that.
I don't know.
Oh.
How's that?
Come on, pussy, pussy.
don't know.
Don't be shy, little pussy. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. I want to see that
I don't know, man. Like, you know, you watch like a comedy movie a lot of times and you're like, oh, okay, this girl's gonna get with this dumb comedian. And you can kind of set it aside, you know, for whatever movie it is. But in this case, they just depict her as like a completely unreal human being. Don't you think?
Well, she's paralyzed from the waist down, so she has no sensation, is what I felt. So she wants to feel any kind of sensation, is what I got from it.
That's why she takes the beatings with the bamboo stick.
Because there was one point where she was like, ooh, I felt a tingle.
Yeah, no, totally. But still, it's maybe they're playing it like because she's paralyzed, she can't get with anyone else.
But her responses and like her cadence, just everything about her, I know what you're saying. It's just she doesn't feel like right or like not natural.
Yeah, completely unnatural. Something very off about this person.
Yeah.
It's your turn now. Would you meet me on the roof tonight?
Don't do it too hard, though. I've got sensitive knees.
Oh, I'm not gonna whack your legs with a bamboo cord. I'm gonna give you a blowjob.
Betty, it's only our first date. Don't you think we should go do some romantic stuff first? Like maybe take a walk in the park or something like that?
I can't walk.
Maybe I could take you out for a roll.
I'd rather stay here and suck.
The thing is, I think...
Come here,
Is my umbilical cord?
Didn't you ever have that removed?
It's taped. It's just for fun. I taped it there for fun.
Okay, I can work around it.
Wait.
Woo! Oh, come on.
Wait. Okay.
Really hate it, actually. Really hate the involvement of this character. The actress, totally cool with her. She was in some other stuff around this era, like Super Troopers. Marissa Coughlin's her name.
Okay.
Like, she was cool in Super Troopers and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. It's just the script, right?
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the actress, but yeah, the script, she was just, like, awkward is the best way I could put it. Awkward and unnatural the whole time. Oh, we didn't even talk about his brother, Freddy.
The title character of this movie.
Eddie K. Thomas. I had to look him up, but I was like, that's the guy. I was like, what is he from? I was like, I've seen that guy.
That's Shipbreak.
Yeah, Shipbreak, bro. American Pie. Yeah, he was also big at this time.
Yeah.
We totally skipped over in the beginning when he got the car, and it said number one son. And then he needed to talk shit to Freddy. And he was like, I don't see two cars here, do you? Yeah, we both can't be the number one sons. Totally a dick.
But Freddy's like the good son.
Yeah.
Because he has a job and a suit and he's like responsible.
And all his wits.
All his wits, he's not insane maniac.
Yeah, I mean, he's the ideal son. He's at least a normal human being, right? It's funny that he's the title character of this movie.
When I first saw him, admittedly, I thought it was Tobey Maguire. And then all I could think about him is just Tobey Maguire at home. Because he kind of looks like him. And I think he was in Harold and Kumar, too.
He was one of the friends that were like across the hall or whatever.
The Jewish friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jewish friends, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so I know that guy. I was like, that guy.
That dude is no stranger to movies like this. Yeah.
You're older than me and you still live at home. I have a job, you know? I pay my own way.
You work at a bank. Am I supposed to be dazzled?
Well, at least I don't live at home.
No, you live in a tiny little shithole and you can't afford breakfast, so you come here and you eat for free.
Whatever. Okay, listen, I'm off to work now, okay? Me and Dad have jobs. We're doing something with our lives. Time for you to grow up. Good luck with that job, hon, okay?
All right, let's just cross our fingers, okay, Freddy? Let's cross our fingers and hope that I get a job. I'm serious. Just cross your fingers. All right, fingers crossed. I hope I get a jobby, Freddy. I got my fingers crossed. I hope I get a jobby. I got my fingers crossed. I got my fingers crossed. Crossed. Crossed?
Tom Green as Gordo and him, they do have a scene together, which doesn't do much for the story, but it's like one of those Tom Greeny jokes. I got my fingers crossed. My fingers crossed, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was at this point, it might have been another point in the movie when I realized that like the editing in this movie is actually pretty good. And here's why I say that. Think about a scene where Tom Green is fucking around in this movie, like him at the bank, right? And he's like humping random people in line and he's like picking up papers and throwing them around or screaming in someone's face. Mm-hmm. He probably did that for 30 minutes straight when they were filming it.
Probably.
And each of these moments, they cut down to a solid 15 to 20 seconds. And this movie is only an hour and a half long. And like, I think if you had someone like Paul Feig directing this movie or, you know, any kind of comedy where there's a lot of improv, they tend to hang on these things a little bit too long, I think. But at least in this movie, Like, he fucks around a little bit. Like, think of his job at the cheese factory. It's like 10 seconds of him fucking around, and then they move on. And I'm really glad for that. So I think that's one thing to this movie's credit, is that, like, the editing is pretty crisp. They, like, cut his shit off pretty quick.
Once it reaches, like, its shock value, like, everyone gets it, we're done.
Yeah. And it's like moving on to the next thing.
Yeah.
That being said, the script is just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, there is nothing to this movie.
No, dude, you got to follow your dreams.
There's a theme. Don't you know the theme? Is it too subtle? The fact that there's a theme in this movie? Yeah, you talked about the scuba gear in the shower. Like, you know how I said there's some funny stuff and, like, some just stupid bullshit? I think him being in scuba gear in the shower is dumb.
I thought that was kind of funny. It was dumb.
What I
but
think
thought
is
it was
funny is that Rip Torn doesn't just remove him from the shower. He throws him through the sliding glass door.
What the fuck is going on?
I'm underwater. Look, I found a treasure.
A treasure? That's soap on a rope.
I think it's a treasure.
Get out of my goddamn scuba gear, you imbecile!
I was waiting for Rip Torn to beat the shit out of him. I was like, I expected it pretty early. I'm like, this guy's fed up already. Like, when is he just going to start going at him?
Is Rip Torn just, like, playing himself? Like, you know, I feel like he's just yelling at Tom Green. Like,
see, Steve would know more about this, but there's a funny Family Guy joke where Brian's drinking pretty hard, and Peter thinks he's having a party. So Peter comes up to him, and after talking to him, he finds out Brian is sad. He's just hitting the bottle, and he makes a joke. He's like, "Oh, you're Rip Torn drinking."
Peter, I'm not getting drunk for fun. I'm drinking because I'm sad. Because I'm never going to meet the right woman. Because I'm going to die old and alone. Oh, you're Rip Torn drinking.
And I think at one point he is drinking a bottle of Wild Turkey.
Oh, just like in this movie.
Yeah. At one point he's drinking in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the movie, yeah. I'm pretty sure Rip Torn is just playing himself. He's insane.
Yeah.
You saved me from the giant barracuda. But look, I salvaged the treasure. We can live like kings. We can live like kings.
Forget that fucking soap. You clean up this mess and get your ass out that door looking for a job. You retard.
And then I remember years ago, Rip Torn got arrested for breaking into a bank, and he thought it was like his house or he was like his home, and he got in trouble and everything because he broke into a bank. That was Rip Torn.
Matt, there's something similar with Randy Quaid. Are we mixing them up?
No, Randy Quaid, I think, was in a motel that he never paid for, that he trashed, and that he refused to leave. But Rip Torn broke into a bank.
Okay.
I thought it was like his apartment.
Yeah. Rip Torn, pretty solid in this movie, I think.
Yeah.
You know, him just like continually getting upset, I think is some of my favorite stuff. Like I said, him throwing him through the sliding glass door of the bathroom. That's fucking good shit, man.
He plays a great angry dad.
There's a couple moments in this movie that I think are like some of the most quoted or most remembered. The first of which is the backwards man.
The backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I'm the backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. The backwards man, the backwards man. Backwards man, the backwards man. I can walk backwards fast as you can. I can walk backwards fast as you can.
Dad, what? God, name are you doing, you stupid little man? Wait. Did you get a job?
Yeah. I got a job and I wanted to surprise you.
You bullshitting me, boy?
No, I got a job working nights at a computer company, and I was just borrowing one of your suits until I could get enough money to buy one of my own.
Are you kidding? You just keep that suit. Oh, Gord, I knew you had it in you. You're just a late bloomer, that's all.
Alex, when you saw that, did it bring you back? Like, because you'd seen this movie long ago, right?
No, this is the first time I've ever seen this movie.
Oh my God. So, but you knew about the sausage scene, which we'll talk about in a minute.
That's the iconic one.
But I think the secondary one to that is the backwards man. Tom Green just wearing a suit and walking backwards. I thought that was super funny when I was younger. Not so much now. It's funnier than him yelling in someone's face. Sure, at least there's like some kind of like comedy in there.
And no one else is getting tortured.
Yeah. Exactly. But again, his dad sees him doing this and assumes he has a job. which is why he's wearing a suit backwards.
Yeah, I love this scene just for what you just said. And it goes right back to what I said earlier is, okay, he got a job and his dad's super happy. Nothing else matters. And I'm like, he's still wearing a suit backwards. Like, is he going to go to his job with a backwards suit? Like, he just completely ignores everything else once he finds out, or Tom Green lies and tells him he has a job.
Yeah, he asked if he could borrow the suit, and he was like, you got a job? You can have the suit.
Yeah, you can wear it backwards. Go to your job for a day before they fire you.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck, man? So, you know, Gordo is dating Betty now, and their relationship is kind of progressing. Tom Green, as Gordo, wants more than just getting his dick sucked all day, every day. As you know.
Typical male.
Typical man, you know. He wants romance in his life.
Not just sex.
So there's a scene where they go out to a restaurant. They actually go on an official date rather than stay at home and just give dome. Gordo's dad and mom are also at this restaurant on a date. And so is his neighbor, Andy, and his dad. So unbeknownst to each other, they're all kind of at the restaurant at the same time. And we get a scene where Gordo starts lying about his job to Betty, right? Because Alex, he told Betty that he is like in finance, essentially, right?
Yep.
Is that, did you need to...
Oh, yep. It's my cellular telephone. It's wireless. It uses satellites and terrestrial antennas to send and receive transmissions. It's
Interesting.
I don't care, Bob. You're fired. You're fired! You're fucking fired, Bob! Clean out your locker at the club, Bob. You're fucking fired! I don't fucking care what he told you, okay? I'm talking about 40 million fucking Deutschmark here, Bob! 40 million fucking Deutschmark! I told you to wire the money to Geneva last week! I say Geneva, you hear Helsinki? Huh? 40 million fucking Deutschmark, Bob!
The part that I really like the most is when he ends up getting at the table with the mom, and he's like, he's got the cell phone out, and he's like pretending that he's on this work call, and he's screaming at him, yelling at him, it's 40 million fucking points, Bob, and just completely just losing it. He's got salad all in his mouth, and he's talking, he's spitting all at the same time,
smashing the table. He's like, you're fired.
Well, he's using a cordless house phone.
The dad finally calls him out on that, like,
which I thought was weird. And because he tells us, he's like, oh, it's a cellular phone or whatever. I'm like, bro, cell phones were still a thing in 2001. It's not like brand new.
Right.
Yeah, so he's making, and it's like an old ass big one.
Not that many people had them, though. And I see this online a lot. People are like, no, there were cell phones. Yeah, there were, but not that many people had them, right? Okay. Usually, like, business people had them, which I think is the point here. So he has this, like, cordless house phone, but he has to get it to fake ring. So he has like a tape deck with like a recording of a landline ringing.
I actually really like this whole scene because right before the same scene, they showed the neighbor with his kid, and this kid still has like bruising, and the kid still has the black eye.
Yeah, he's fucked
up. And I thought that was really funny, actually. The continuity, like the kid still messed up.
Can I get a dessert? And, oh yeah, you can have a dessert.
There's like every scene like this one has like 2 hits and like 10 misses for me, right? I think one of the thing that hits that is good is Betty asks more about his job, and he just starts saying like words that like he's like Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. He just like
investment,
yeah,
money, stock, graph.
I have these graphs that I made here.
That's the part. He has graphs that he printed out. It's just like bar graphs that are meaningless and that he brought to show her. That is funny.
He has to mention specifically he made them on his computer. He's like, I made them on the computer.
So, Gord, is your job really hard?
It's not hard, no. It's, I mean, you have to be smart. You have to be really smart. You have to use your brain. You know, I have to use my brain. I like to see when the stocks are high, okay? And I like to see when they're low. That's the big thing.
Interesting.
And sometimes they're really high. Sometimes they're very high, the stocks. And you go very high. That's when you
high.
want. Yeah. That's when you want to sell, when they're very high.
Woo.
You buy them when they're down very low. Yeah. I mean, I have graphs. I have some graphs I can show you. If you pay attention to these patterns here, you can see on the graphs. I made these on my computer.
Wow.
Yeah, the prep for the date that he did at home must have taken like hours, right?
Yeah, that whole scene is kind of funny. Yeah, when he's yelling and just going crazy. Again, it's just him spurging out. Every scene is him just going loud and crazy.
Yeah, I mean, when the dad shows up, like, it just explodes, right? His dad starts, like, spanking his ass in the restaurant. Tom Green does his he starts jumping on tables and, like, he takes, like, the violin from, like, the band and starts playing it. He gets, like, those bar hoses with, like, water or beer or whatever and just sprays people.
He throws some food at him.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised there wasn't, like, a big food fight in this scene. Oddly enough, I was thinking, I was like, oh, this is going to turn into some food fight, but
no,
that never happens.
Tom Green dishes out all the abuse, right? Like, anyone gets something thrown at them or something. Other than Andy, I guess. Andy takes a bottle to the face right here.
Yeah, the kid again.
You got a problem with my legs?
No, you've got a problem with your legs. Either that or you're just lazy.
Hey, Dad, just shut up, okay? Just shut up!
You're telling me to shut up? How would Mr.
Why is he shouting, Daddy?
Like a spanking?
Can we get the check over here?
Retard slut whore!
I am not retarded!
Daddy, daddy, daddy! Daddy,
Goodbye, Korey.
Betty, don't go! Shut up, Dad! Shut up! Shut up!
This is a fancy restaurant! This is a fancy restaurant! This is a fancy restaurant!
Yeah, that's from the dad. Tom Green didn't throw that, by the way. Tom Green never hurts Andy, I don't think.
No, it's just the dad. Right?
Yeah. Oh, and this is the same thing when the cops come in. The cop just, like, shoots her gun in the air and they all pull their guns out. Like, there's no chill with these cops.
I know, they fire...
Like, wait, what? He's just a maniac. Like, he's not threatening anyone, I guess.
At last, Tom Green is taken to prison.
Finally, the nightmare's over.
After the many crimes against humanity he's committed, he finally gets locked up for it. Actually, they take him to jail, but it cuts and he's out of jail. Like, he's bailed out. The thing about Betty, everything with her is, like, wrong, dude. She bails him out and she's, like, totally okay with the fact that he's just, like, a loser, right? He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have any prospects in life. And, like, his, like, hobbies are just screaming in people's faces and drawing. Because,
being
of
mentally
course...
challenged.
Yeah, exactly, man. Again, she's like this weird fantasy woman that they just inserted into this movie, right? Like, no woman is going to deal with this shit.
Not even close. Like, nothing he does can make her not like him.
I know, right? Even, like, when he, like, calls her a stupid loser later in the movie, it's like...
I mean, it has to be that they're just going more into her being paralyzed, right? Because even the dad, like, talks shit about her, you know? He calls her, like, crippled, and she's like, what? And something like, he's like, I'm not the one who didn't make your legs work, or like something. It's like such a dick.
Yeah, they go really hard to make the dad like the clear villain in this movie, because otherwise Tom Green would just be the villain.
Right.
Because he's like ruining everyone's lives around him all the time.
When they cut to a new scene here, someone was watching a video of like surgery. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah, that was Freddy. When Freddy's at home,
yes,
on his TV is Tom Green's cancer surgery.
And it's like actually footage. Like it's like really detailed or graphic. You see him like cutting open his stomach or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's when Tom Green, when he had testicular cancer, he did an episode of the Tom Green Show about it, about when it got discovered and his surgery, and it showed the whole surgery. Pretty graphic, you know. It's a literal
surgery.
Yeah. You see his like abdomen get cut open, and they have to like
go in there,
take out one of his testicles through his stomach.
Why is he watching that? They never explain that. It's just on the TV, like in the background.
There is weird stuff in the TV. Like at time, like Freddy goes to this boys' institution later, which we'll get to it in a moment. But what they have playing on the TV is Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh God, so weird.
Yes.
I know it was your dad. I mean, you know, you could have told me that you lived at home. I wouldn't have cared.
Even though that means I'm a loser?
Just because you're not a stockbroker doesn't mean you're a loser. So what do you do?
Actually, I kind of draw pictures.
Really? What kind of pictures? Like fruits?
No, not fruits.
Oh.
I've drawn fruit before.
Yeah?
Animations.
Oh, wow. That's great. I've never met a real animator before.
Well, I'm not really a real animator. You know, my life's a little hectic lately. I'm having trouble concentrating with all the skateboarding and
You sucking my penis all the time. Oh.
Well, Gordy, I mean, maybe you're just concentrating a little too hard. You know, I mean, maybe you just need to relax while you draw. You know, eat some food, play some music.
I only have 2 hands, Betty. How am I supposed to do all that?
What?
Eat food and play music and draw?
Betty, at this point, she gives Gordo, Tom Green, some advice, which is to, you know, maybe just relax, eat some food, play some music. And this is where we kind of get a famous scene where Tom Green, again, takes this advice literally. Alex, what does he do?
He's playing music, he's eating, and he's drawing pictures at the same time. How can I do all that at the exact same time? But he figures out a way. And yeah, this is from the iconic trailer and probably the only thing I knew about this movie coming in. The Daddy, would you like some sausage? And he's playing the piano and the sausages from the ceiling and everything. And it's a very, very weird scene.
I don't know. I can't think of anything to draw because I'm so stupid.
I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. I'm 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 stupid.
Hey, this is kind of funny, Gore.
I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I'm stupid.
Yeah?
Well, yeah, maybe you can't see it because he's your dad, but he's a character, your dad.
He is?
Yeah. He's a character?
Oh, shit, it's your dad. He's a real character. He's a real character.
Bye, Mr. and Mrs. Brody. Bye, Mr. and Mrs. Brody.
He's a real character. Sausage.
Oh, look, honey, our boy's a genius. He's rigged a pulley system so he can eat sausage and work on his stupid drawings.
I'm being creative. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have some work to do. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like some sausage? Sausages, sausages.
That was the scene from the movie.
Yeah, this is the scene, right? This is the one.
Hot dogs are like going up and down.
I don't think it's true, but I feel like he made a movie around this scene. You know? This would be like the first conception of this movie, and then a whole movie was written around it. I don't think that's actually the case, but if it was, I would believe it, you know?
He has the shower cap and like the meat earrings. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Big steak earrings.
It's kind of a funny image to see, like, he has like these like goofy, like, you know, the Disney character Goofy, like drooping ears made of like slabs of raw meat.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
He has a pulley system attached to his fingers where like sausages are hooked to something on the ceiling that we don't see. And every time he plays the piano, they go up and down, I guess. Is it funny, though? That's the question, Alan. That's what we need to answer.
Is it funny? I would say yes, only because it's not so gross and crude. This is kind of just like pure absurdism. It's not like dicks or anything weird. Well, not weird. There's no sex involved. It's just how absurd can we be? And this is what he comes up with.
It's certainly better than him just screaming in someone's face, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's something about like this that works in a way where it doesn't when he's just like abusing people.
In a weird way, it requires more creativity, if that's the word I'm looking for. Like you said, it's not even just yelling.
At least there's something there.
He has to think of something weird. Yeah.
And that was him being creative. That's what he said. I'm being creative, Dad. But no, it was not funny. No, not funny at all.
The thing about a movie like this, like a real awful piece of shit, it's funny to talk about it. But when you're watching it, it's kind of painful, man.
And this goes right back to the word random, because this is exactly what it was. How random can I be?
Yeah. And that's about as random as it gets in this movie, right? Yeah. I think he tries to top that with the finale of this movie, but this is really it. There's actually, cinematically speaking, there is a plant that they do pay off here. The dad says to him, he says, if this were Pakistan, you'd be sewing soccer balls when you were 4 years old. And that somewhat pays off at the end of the movie. I guess just the fact that he mentions Pakistan. But anyway, we'll come back to that later.
And then Rip Torn steps on his keyboard.
Yes. He destroys his equipment. He destroys his mini ramp.
Yep.
And then the movie plays it up like Tom Green was just victimized, right?
Like, oh, look, his dad's crazy. He's breaking all this shit. Yeah.
He just destroyed their living room with cured meats. Like... I'm surprised the dad didn't destroy that mini ramp long ago, frankly. Or just kick this fucker out. You can't fucking live with me, you fucking freak. Be homeless.
The scene where he drives his truck to the mini ramp, I could tell was just an excuse for them to just drive a truck to break something. Like, they just wanted to drive a truck through and film it. Like, look, it'd be cool if you just hit this thing as fast as you could.
Yeah, like a stunt.
Yeah, they just wanted to do that. So, like, oh, in this scene he breaks it, and they just filmed him.
You know what? There is another plant here, too, because Tom Green, as Gordo, says to his mother that she should leave the dad because he's a psycho. She says, you should go out and satisfy your sexual desires with basketball players.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, that gets weird at the end, too.
Yeah, we see that later on, right? Because
Yeah.
she does eventually leave the dad.
Oh, I was actually surprised at that part.
Were you surprised to see your hero, Shaq, Alex?
I was surprised. Tom Green, he nailed it. He nailed it. At least he went to get one of the biggest and best basketball players at the time.
Who somehow agreed to be in this picture.
That was my question. How did he, get him to agree to that?
Yeah, Shaq had some cameos back then. He cameoed in Good Burger.
I mean, I know he's very, very strict on the type of roles that he plays, when it comes to Hollywood, so.
Only the finest for Shaq. Steel.
Kazam.
Yeah.
I hope some large amount of their budget went to just paying Shaq for his cameo. And that's why the movie's so shitty. They gave all their money to Shaq.
Which they received from the
Why are we watching this? Are you still in love with your husband?
Shaq, honey, that's my son, my little baby boy. They're holding him hostage. I'm just being a concerned mom.
Yeah, whatever. I did all this for you. Nipples pierced. Can he do it like this? Huh? Can he do it like that? Do all this?
Alex, I think we've set the precedent that every movie that we review with you on has to have Shaq in it now.
There we go. All right.
So that means the next one that we do is either going to be Good Burger or Steel. I'm really hoping for Steel.
All right. Well, the podcast is going to be living up to its name when we review some of those ones.
That's it. You're the Shaq guy. It's official.
So I think here is where Tom Green makes his accusation, or Gordo makes his accusation.
Yeah.
For the whole title of the movie, which for some reason I did not put together or realize. I was like, I didn't know why it was called that. But yeah, I thought the title was just nonsense. I didn't put it together that it was actually part of the movie.
Like it was a non sequitur title, just something that
like Freddy got fingered. Okay, haha.
But there is a character named Freddy. The family goes to therapy, and the therapist is like trying to be all earnest and like do their job and like maybe listen to your son, understand what he wants. But Gordo, Tom Green, just immediately accuses their dad of being a rapist.
Like randomly and like aggressively. He just goes all in.
Sounds to me like he just wants you to accept him as your son, to approve of him and what he wants to do with his life. Now, how does that make you feel?
First of all, I'm gonna give a rat's ass what this snot-nosed punk wants. As long as he lives in my house and eats my food, I make the rules.
I want to eat chicken burgers.
You little prick.
Jim, don't hurt my baby. Now sit down.
You're an embarrassment to my family.
Oh, yeah? Well, at least I don't touch Freddy.
Hey, what?
Excuse me?
Yeah, he touches my little brother. He takes him down behind the furnace and he touches him in his pants.
See the insanity I have to put up with here?
He's embarrassed. He touches my little brother. He fingers him.
You're a goddamn liar!
Jim, do you touch him? Do you finger our boy?
Don't you get wacky on me. What the fuck are we talking about here?
It's crazy how fast that it spirals. He's like, he fingered Freddy, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, he must have done it. It all goes downhill from there.
Right.
Tom Green again is yelling. He throws a statue through a window.
The thing where he accuses the dad of like raping his brother, I don't think that's particularly funny, right? Like I did think it was funny when I was younger, but right after doing that, when he jumps out of a window, I think it's just random enough to where
That
it's like
part is
slightly funny. Yeah.
Because it's like, why is he jumping out of a window?
He accuses him. He screams, Tom Green, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he smashes a window and just leaps out like he's fucking Spider-Man. Like
that was funny.
Yeah, it's like...
Mr. Brody, this is very serious. Based on what I've heard here today, I am required by law to notify the authorities.
You hear that, Dad? You're gonna pay! He's a molester. He's a child molester! Ah! 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 Ah!
But that whole accusation thing, this part I thought it was like some kind of weird dystopian nightmare movie. Because then Freddy keeps telling them that never happened, but they're like, it's okay, Freddy. They're like gaslighting Freddy. And I was like, this is like a nightmare movie. Like, this is crazy.
His life gets ruined.
Yeah.
But it's obviously, there's things that are not realistic. He's a grown man, Freddy, right? He's like 25.
That's why he's like, it never happened. They're like, it's okay.
And like, they send him to what's called the Institute for Sexually Molested Children.
Yep.
Like, that's in big text on the building. Like, there's a building that says that. All kids there, except this 25-year-old guy. And again, they watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre in this place. All right, whatever. That's where Freddy, I mean, I'm led to believe he spends the rest of his days. They lock his ass up.
They never really resolved that.
Yeah.
He gets thrown in the back of the cop car and like, we'll get you a lawyer. And like, what is going on? I thought he's the victim.
Yeah, he's like punished for like, he's in there so long he grows like a beard and like.
That's what I mean. It's like a nightmare movie. Tom Green just ruined everyone's life and he's like the hero.
That's his thing. He just ruins the lives of everyone that's attached to him. By the time his friend Darren is all fucked up by the end of it.
Yeah, he's like actually hurt.
Yeah, he has like a broken leg and he has like, what is that fucking headpiece you wear when like
the neck brace
when your neck is broken?
Because he got attacked by Rip Torn.
Yes.
Looking for his son.
Rip Torn's wife leaves him, right? The mom walks in when, Rip Torn does kind of cross the line here.
Yeah. Give it this bottle of wild turkey.
Do you remember, Alex, what he does?
Oh, yeah. He's drunk off of his ass and for better or worse, he was like, you just want to fuck me, huh? You just want to fuck me. And he's like, all right, fine, do it then. Pulls down his pants, just go ahead and fuck me.
Yeah, he pulls down his pants and he offers his ass to his son. I guess in a teasing way, but very weird shit going on here. Again, they have to make him worse than Tom Green somehow. So like he has to be like the most despicable human alive.
What do you think you're doing?
Stop it, Dad. I'm working hard on those. I'm getting them ready to show Mr. Davidson. Stop it.
You think I'm running these little sketches? Oh, stop it! Stop it! Look it out.
Fuck you, Dad.
Fuck me?
Yeah, fuck you.
Do you fuck me? Is that what you said? Do you want to fuck me? Huh? All right, Gord. Come on over here. Fuck me. Come on, Gord. Ass over here. Fuck me. Just stick it right in there.
Put your ass away. I don't...
Here. Sketches here.
Oh, holy shit, Dad. What are you doing?
Hey. What do you come on over here and fuck your daddy? Fuck your daddy. Fuck. Hey. Fuck daddy. Hey.
Well, that's disgusting.
This is actually the low point. Like a lot of movies like this have like a low point for the hero. I guess the hero is Gordo, Tom Green, but he trashes his drawings, right? Because he's like an artist. He draws cartoons. He throws them all out, and then there's like this dramatic, stupid as fuck slow-mo shot of him in the rain, and it's honestly super fucking cringe. I know it's like a small moment in the movie. It's about 10 seconds of runtime, but to me, it's just like it's pathetically bad. Like that I'm supposed to feel any sympathy for like the world's shittiest human.
That made like some unfounded sexual assault claim against his own family.
Which got the victim locked up but not the perpetrator.
And he still doesn't have a job, he's just mooching off his family still.
Well, this is where he decides to get a job. He decides to, button down and get serious, throw out his drawings. He gets a job at a real cheese sandwich restaurant, I guess, like a bootleg Subway, right?
Yeah.
He has a falling out with Betty, who's been working on her rocket wheelchair. That's really her dream of the movie, to like create a rocket wheelchair. I feel like she's seen the Silver Bullet movie. You guys remember that Stephen King movie from the 80s with Korey Haim?
No.
A kid has a rocket wheelchair in that movie.
That does sound kind of cool. I thought about that. I was like, that would be kind of cool to have.
Yeah, it happened in a better movie.
This one they said goes 0 to 60 in 4 seconds.
That's
in a
like Dom
wheelchair.
Toretto shit.
Yeah, in a wheelchair. That's impossible. But
Yeah.
that'd be crazy.
She's got a fucking 10-second car, but a wheelchair.
Faster than like most sports cars.
Yeah, dude.
It's insane.
Think she could beat Dom in a drag race?
Maybe she'll be in Fast and the Furious 12.
Just flying by, yeah. So Tom Green has this new job. I should call him Gordo. He's Gordo in the movie. What's he doing, Alan, with his job?
He's making sandwiches at his Quiznos place.
Oh man, what a throwback, Alan.
Quiznos. Yeah, but then the guy comes in and complains that it doesn't have enough cheese or he messed up the order. And then typical Tom Green, I guess it's a smaller scene, but then he starts throwing slabs of cheese on there. He's like, fine, you want more cheese? And again, he starts getting loud and crazy and just typical thing. He just goes insane.
Is there a problem? Yeah, moron. I ordered a cheese sandwich and there's hardly any cheese in here.
That's no good, is it? Here, give me your sandwich. I will fix it for you. We can't have people complaining that there's not enough cheese in the cheese sandwiches now, can we? I mean, if there's no cheese in a cheese sandwich, it's basically just 2 slices of bread. If word of that were to get out, well, I could lose my job. I could lose all of this! And we wouldn't want that now, would we? Would we? Would we?
What the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
Oh, you could stick it in your bum bum. You can put the cheese in your bum.
This customer is like proto Casey Affleck. This dude had some real Casey Affleck energy, but it was like before Casey Affleck was a thing. I don't know. It just kind of fit. And then a small thing I saw was that his boss, he's like a teenager, right?
Yeah.
His boss at the sandwich shop, Submarine Supreme it's called, is fucking Mickey Milkovich from Shameless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I guess like the mundane job and Betty's rocket wheelchair kind of inspire him again to like pursue his dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna kind of like take another shot at starting a cartoon, and I guess now through his experience with his dad, he has more ideas. So he goes back to California, Alan, and he sees your favorite character, Mr. Davidson, again.
Oh yeah.
He runs screaming into his office and he pitches the idea.
Well, he pitches his idea, Zebras in America, I think is what it was called.
Yes.
And it goes very similar to the first one where the guy kind of humors him, but then it's like, what the fuck are you showing me? This is still ridiculous. This doesn't make sense. It's basically a repeat of the first time where he's not interested. And then he gets saved by his dad, who comes in looking to kick his ass. Typical Rip Torn, just insane. They start fighting, and Mr. Davidson thinks it's some kind of pitch, like he's an actor. And he likes it so much that he gives him $1 million check. Right there. He's like, I wasn't going to write a check, but here's $1 million on the spot.
On the spot. Yes. He has now succeeded, right? Through his dad and through his shenanigans. And it does show, like the show he creates, Zebras in America, and it is awful.
Oh, yeah. It's nonsense.
Fucking bad, dude. It's basically like a low rent Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Harry. Ah, do you hear the funny sound? Do you hear the funny sound? It's my hooves. It's my hooves. In Africa, the humans hated us because of our zebra lower bodies, and the zebras hated us because of our human upper bodies. So my family, we moved from Africa to start over in America. But life in America wasn't perfect. Especially for zebras who are used to living in fields, not houses. My hooves! My hooves! My dad was weird in Africa, but America made him crazy! I'm not getting a stupid job, Dad! I never had a part-time job in Africa!
How dare you?
So check us out! You'll love it how simple misunderstandings always seem to get us into a whole heap of trouble! It's crazy! Listen to my hooves! Yeah! Listen to my hooves! Yeah! Listen to them cloppity clop! Listen to them cloppity clop! Zebra in America!
What do you think of Zebras in America?
It's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, it just yeah. Everybody should follow their dreams, but if your dreams are zebras in America, they're probably not going to make.
You think
it
he
too
should have
far.
pulled the trigger when he had that gun earlier in his mouth?
That's still one of the funniest parts of the whole movie to me, on just how far off the rails he is. But we never talked about. He's very easily weasels his way into places that he's not supposed to be by saying nonsense.
Yes. You're talking about Japan 4.
Japan 4, yeah.
Very good. Very good at that.
Japan 4! Okay, Davidson for 4 at 3 o'clock. Mr. Davidson, I have something you need to see. Is there a bomb in there, Gordon? A bomb?
Yeah, I mean, he gets into this office, right? He just like runs in screaming. I think a kind of like a funny small moment is like when the dad follows after and he just like manhandles Drew Barrymore. He just like throws her into some like prop barrels.
But the prop barrels have like the radioactive symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, he just threw her into like radioactive waste. Like, what?
Well, it's called like Radioactive Animation Studio or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like the theming of the place. That'd be fucking funny though if it became RoboCop.
Oh my god. Okay, so he gets his $1 million check. What I find funny about that is this is the climax of the movie. He's like, I did it. He keeps referring to it as he got a job, and he showed his dad. But like he didn't really get a job. He just got like a one-time payment.
He sold a show,
Yeah, that's not like a job.
That's not. No.
But he proves like, I did it. He's like, I got a job. Like, you didn't.
You're right. His whole premise is false.
Yeah. I mean, he did get $1 million, which he immediately wastes. That's a whole nother thing. Like, what is he going to do now? He already wasted his $1 million.
Let's talk about how he spends this money, Alex. What are his first big buys?
Well, I mean, the smartest thing he did was going and getting all the jewels for his lady.
A bag of jewels.
That's the smart thing. He could have got a wedding ring, but no, he had to go Goonie status. Get her a bag of jewels.
That is kind of funny.
Ay, Dios mío.
Just like random Tom Green stuff, a bag, and they're like different sizes and like colors. It's just, here's a bag of jewels.
I immediately thought of the Goonies too. A far superior film, obviously, but
sure.
yeah, bag of jewels saves the day, right? He kind of wins back the woman. She says, "I don't actually need a bag of jewels, but that's cool, thank you." He spends a bunch of money to get like a helicopter ride so he can like fly to her high-rise apartment, right? And like talk to her on the roof.
He rented the helicopter for $100,000.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Gotta be honest.
Yeah, just to rent it? Like, you could probably buy one maybe.
I know they have an elevator, I'm sure, but was it messed up making the chick in the wheelchair have to get up to the roof?
I was thinking of that too. Do they usually have like a service elevator that goes to a roof? You know, it's usually the last part is the stairwell. Right. I don't know.
Don't they like have to? I thought it was like a disabled person thing.
I don't think there's required access for rooftops. I don't know. Maybe there is.
I'm just scared to go on a roof of a wheelchair. You're gonna roll off.
Maybe it's different. This one did have a whole helipad like spot on there.
It did. And with Tom Green, with his whole gimmick, at least in this movie, maybe not like in his show and stuff, I kept thinking he's like just doing like a crazier Pauly Shore, right? Like he saw some Pauly Shore movies where Pauly Shore gets wacky and yells, and he's just doing it harder.
I could be totally insane.
And honestly, kind of less funny. And we've done a podcast here. You guys weren't there, but we did a podcast on In the Army Now. A real piece of shit movie. Gotta be honest, it's not good. But miles ahead of this movie. At least there's something there, despite that whole movie basically being military propaganda. But anyway, Betty doesn't care about the bag of jewels. She says,
I don't care about jewels. I just want to suck your cock.
Do you really mean that, Betty?
Yes, Gord. Even if you were poor, I'd still just want to stay home and suck your cock.
I mean, how could she not? Look at him.
If she wasn't paralyzed, she'd be the perfect woman. And I think that that's what they were. It's like everything, to make up for her being paralyzed from the waist down, everything else.
Perfect in every way, right? But, that one flaw. But our hero can overlook that flaw. Something gross about that, dude. It fucking bugs me. I fucking hate that.
How
dude.
she's still like unnatural and just weird the whole movie.
Yes, dude. It's like
nothing about her the whole movie.
This characterization of like this, I don't know, fetishized like woman. I don't know.
Yeah.
It pains me. It pains me greatly. But, Tom Green still has a lot of money. He spent a bunch of it, sure. But he has a lot left. And he decides to use that for an elaborate prank, I guess, Alan? What does he do?
He uses it to move his whole house to Pakistan.
While his dad's inside of it.
But I actually laughed. I liked when he was with the contractor and they were explaining it'd be easier to just tear the whole thing down. But his response is like, no, he's like, I have money. Here's the check. And he just gives the contractor like the check. Even though he already spent some of it. But it's like, that's not really like a payment. Like you have to give him some actual money.
Give him a bad check.
Yeah. Here's the check I got for $1 million.
Dude, all right. I'm going to take a quick side tangent here about the production of this movie. There was this fucking hot dog vendor that was like in the area of the street that they were filming that wouldn't move. So like, they permitted that they were going to be filming in this street, this one scene, whatever it was. And there was this hot dog vendor that's like, no, I work here every day between this time and this time. I'm not going anywhere unless you give me $2,000. Tom Green directed this movie, so he was talking to him and he said, this kind of feels like a scam. I've seen a lot of scams and I don't think we're going to pay you. You just got to go. So Tom Green tried to annoy him into submission. Tom Green was like whispering in his ear. He's like, corn on the cob, or whatever, just like annoying him. But the guy wouldn't leave. So Tom Green did pay the guy a $2,000 check. He gave him $2,000, wrote it on a check, handed it to him, and the guy walked away. And then he goes to his producer and he's like, cancel that check immediately. Which I think is pretty funny. And the reason that worked for me is because this guy was a scammer. Because there was some customer that came up to the hot dog vendor and Tom Green said, is this guy here every day? And she said, not on Sundays. And it was a Sunday. So the guy just showed up because he saw that happening, hoping to get some cash. So fuck that guy. I think that was kind of good.
Isn't that the whole point of permitting, though? If they get a permit and the guy's still there, isn't that like a legal thing? Can't the police be like, you have to go or something?
Probably, yeah.
I thought that's the whole point of why
the guy said he had a permit, though, to sell there, too. Which I'm sure he did because he's a normal street vendor, right? But
so that gets like weird, probably. Or
but yeah, whose permit supersedes the other?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Tom Green's like, I'll just be weird about it.
Yes. So Alex, the house is moved to Pakistan. What the fuck happens in Pakistan, and why? Why is this happening?
And it was all moved just in the matter of one night, right? Like that's what we're assuming. Like goes to sleep and then just wakes up and he's there.
I guess $750,000 can get you a lot.
Just like Tom Green said, it's $1 million. Easy come, easy go. Yeah, I mean, it was all just to play a prank on his dad. That's really all it was. And yeah, they open the door and see they're out in Pakistan. And then we get to the elephant. And still don't know the whole premise of how the elephant even came in there. But Tom Green had to step it up. Like the horse wasn't enough. Like that was like the beginning of the movie. And then we have to have the biggest schlong there at the end of the movie.
We need a bigger dick and jizz.
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, that was bad. There was one note before they go to Pakistan. He does the Sam Fisher like Black Ops thing where he breaks into the house and he has the goggles, which I thought was kind of a cool scene, even though it was nothing really. But he does the whole like secret op thing. But there's one part of that where honestly I still feel like maybe I'm crazy because I don't know if you guys noticed, but during that whole scene where he's playing like the guy breaking into the house, the background music is some kind of weird like gurgling or like animal noises. Did you guys notice that, or am I crazy?
I didn't notice.
I feel like I sound stupid, but I paused it because I was like, what the fuck is that noise? And if you actually listen to it, it's just some weird-ass background noise, which I assume is just him being weird. So you might want to double check that scene.
Oh, I'll insert the clip.
Yeah. But if that's not true, then I'm going to look crazy. But I was like, what is that noise in the background?
The climax of this movie, so to speak, multi-meaning there. Tom Green runs up to an elephant while he's being chased by his dad.
Yep.
Jerks it off real quick and then like hoses down his dad with elephant jizz.
Real quick. Yeah, just look at me.
And then while drenched in elephant jizz, the dad comes to respect Gordo somehow. That's what it took for him to earn his dad's respect. But I mean, obviously the text of the movie is saying, okay, you made a bunch of money, so now I understand you. Like
The
now
reconciliation.
they've reconciled their differences because like Tom Green here, Gordo, he's a misunderstood genius, right? Mm-hmm. Underneath all the shenanigans is a true artist, I guess.
Who finally got a job. One-time check.
Yeah. So yeah, Gordo says, he's now learned to believe in himself and they come together. So those differences are now resolved, I guess.
I want to ask you something. How the fuck did you afford all this? Where'd you get the money?
I got a job. I'm an animator. I'm a real animator.
A job? You mean your doodles?
Yeah, Dad. I sold them. They gave me $1 million for my drawings.
Good God almighty, Gord. $1 million? This doodling thing's for real, ain't it? You must be a pretty damn good doodler, aren't you?
Look, I know we've had our differences. You and I never really see eye to eye, but I learned something.
I can see that.
No, not just how to whack off an elephant. I learned to believe in myself. And I'm sorry if you're ashamed of me sometimes because I do things a little differently, but I got that from you. Because you always do things your own way, no matter what other people think. Maybe I needed to do the same. I know I'll never be the man you want me to be, but I'm your son. And I want you to be proud.
So you did it. I am proud of you. Proud.
And then this is where we see his mom with Shaq.
Well, because they're like abducted by locals and they're like, I don't know, taken prisoner into a cave or something. Mm-hmm. And it makes worldwide news. So like the mom sees it on the news when she's with Shaq.
I did like this scene at the end when they do like the deer hunter thing. When they have like the beards and they're all in like the den and with the guns.
But the thing is, I thought they were going to do Russian roulette, right?
Yeah.
But they just fire a gun and everyone freaks out. So it's like, I thought they were going to have something there, something funny, and then they didn't. They just like have them being rescued.
Right.
But I will say this, when they are like eventually rescued, like they come back to America with like the beards and the long hair, like they've been in Pakistan for I guess a long time being held captive. And then I guess the government like made an agreement to let them come back. They come back to like a huge crowd because Tom Green is known as the creator of Zebras in America, which against all odds, I guess is like a hit. Someone in the audience has a sign that is really fucking funny. It says, "When the fuck is this movie going to end?"
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
That is like maybe the best joke of the movie because honestly, you can't help but think that at this movie. I mean, the movie's only an hour and a half, but you're like, what is the conclusion of this fucking movie?
I did feel like the whole Pakistan thing at the end kind of dragged.
Yeah, dude.
Or it was unnecessary. Or maybe they could have shortened that.
There wasn't enough funny in there. Like the shock value thing of like the elephant jism is like not it's not good enough, I don't think.
One thing, this is going to sound really fucked up. When he was doing the elephant thing, I feel like it was a prop, but at the same time, like at the end, it really looked like a real elephant dick. But when he was doing it, I thought it was like a prop. I couldn't tell if it was a real elephant dick.
I don't know. Maybe it'd be too pornographic if it was real.
That's what I thought. But then at the end, there was a scene where I'm like, wait, that really is an elephant. Like, is he really jacking off an elephant? Who knows?
It's bad stuff, man. It's real awful.
I know.
Is this peak comedy, Alex?
No, it's horrible. It's horrible.
What about the fate of little Andy? What'd you think of that? The kid who's been getting abused this whole movie.
He's in trouble. He's in trouble because it's not his fault. You know, it's like he's like a magnet just living in the world of metal. Like, that's all I can feel. He's going to keep getting hit with something at every turn.
Do you remember how, like, his final moment of pain?
Is there one after the baseball, or was it the baseball?
This is when he's running to greet him and he runs into the propeller.
Yeah, he runs into a propeller blade, and his dad and the rest of the audience are
coated in blood.
Soaked in blood.
Like gratuitous amounts. He's like just soaked. And then this is the same scene. After they get soaked in the blood, the kid still shouts something. He's like, I'm okay. Or he's like, I'll be back or whatever.
Yeah, he says he's okay.
After they get soaked in blood.
I guess they didn't want to have a child die, so they just added a line, off screen.
After he gets like propelled up.
Nobody could die in this movie. Like, you might get real fucked up, but you won't die.
Yeah, I mean, you might end up locked up for the rest of your life, mentally scarred for the rest of your life. I don't know. Harlan Williams is probably going to be fucked up for a long time, you know? All just because they associated with this piece of shit Gordo. Yeah, so it doesn't go well for little Andy. And then the movie ends here with The Real Slim Shady playing, which I think is a song that does mention Tom Green.
Yeah.
That was the song at the time. People forgot how huge that song was.
Dude, it was big. Eminem, man, back in the day. Like, he kind of fits in this era. Even though he, like, made fun of a lot of stuff in this era. Like, thinking back of those days, man, watching movies like this, or like American Pie 2, and listening to Eminem. That was my early teenage years, man.
Yeah, it was an era for sure. Bygone era. Now everything's changed.
Thank God.
Everything's different now, and I don't like it.
I mean, some of these things should stay far away, like this movie.
No, back in my day, we watched this movie. We watched Freddy Got Fingered, and we liked it.
You know, thinking of like the stuff that happens at the end of this movie with like the elephant jizz, something like that happened in another movie called Van Wilder. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like jerk off a dog in that movie, and then they feed it to people.
Oh God.
Which is
and
like
donuts.
Even more fucked up.
What's more fucked up, that or the pale ale in American Pie?
That's right. You remember that scene, Alan?
No.
Another semen drinking scene.
Oh God. There's something funnier than semen and dicks.
You know, scary movie, obviously.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the time. Nothing funnier than that.
Dicks were so big back then. Dicks were all the rage, you know? We gotta bring that back. But before we wrap up here, do you guys have any final thoughts about Freddy Got Fingered, or about Tom Green, or this era in general?
Don't watch this movie ever. Save yourself 1 hour and 30 minutes of your time.
Well said, Alex.
One small thing. Tom Green, I noticed, actually, he's been on a lot of podcasts recently. And I guess, I don't know everything, but he has like his own band. And he's actually a somewhat normal person now, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So from that whole era, Andy Dick's still insane. I think he still lives in a trailer in Canoga Park. Or he used to, at least. He lives like right over here somewhere. He's still like molesting people, actually. So Andy Dick's like off the rails, actually, still.
Yeah, and he's like a fucking legendary drug addict, Andy Dick.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still is, but yeah.
Almost definitely is.
Yeah.
Bam Margera has just gone off the rails too.
Yeah, the dude's fucked up.
And he was always kind of crazy like Tom Green, but he was still somewhat normal around that time.
Yeah, he's a big alcoholic.
Yeah.
How's Steve-O, the sober one?
Steve-O, actually, that's funny. Steve-O is actually probably the best adjusted one.
I know, he does seem to have his head on his shoulders really well, but that's sobriety. You know, you get clean and you...
But Tom Green, I think, actually came out okay, even though this movie was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but like, Tom Green had like a turn in like the mid 2000s where he stopped doing this shtick. Not too long after this movie, actually. So there was the Tom Green show where he just abused people and we're supposed to laugh. And then there was something, I think it was called the New Tom Green Show, where It was like a late night show where he interviewed people. Now, I remember being pumped for this show, and then I saw it and I realized it was fucking boring. It was just like him interviewing people. But it was kind of like early days of podcasting almost. I think, in fact, Rogan was on it as a guest, and that's what got Rogan into doing his own podcast, just interviewing people. So influential, I guess, in that way. But I remember one episode of that new Tom Green show that rubbed me the wrong way. There was a guest. This guest had a special instrument that he created. It was a guitar and a chainsaw mixed together.
Okay.
So he would play the chainsaw like a musical instrument. Like he would play guitar and then he would switch to the chainsaw and he would actually like do a solo with chainsaw noises.
Okay.
When this guy showed up on Tom Green's show, he walked out and he like had the chainsaw going and the crowd's going wild. And he takes the chainsaw and he cuts off a corner of Tom Green's desk. And Tom Green flipped. He was so fucking pissed that a piece of his property was destroyed by this guy. And he didn't let it go the whole time. He was so mad at this guy. The producers came out on and were like upset with this guy. And this aired. So this was like an episode I saw. And I remember thinking like,
find this. This looks interesting.
Tom Green, the amount of shit he puts people through. And someone does one thing to him and he's such a little fucking bitch about it.
The smallest insignificant thing.
Yeah. Like, you know what? Fuck him for that. That, to me, like, that, I like turned on Tom Green at that exact moment.
I could see that.
He can dish it out, but he can't take it. At least at the time. So, whatever. He kept saying, like, to the guy, how expensive this desk, whatever it was, $5,000, $10,000. It's like, shut the fuck up. The guy even said, I'll pay for it. It's, you know, whatever. The guy probably thought, oh, it's Tom Green. He fucks with people. He can take it, you know?
Yeah, he breaks their shit. Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah. Puts a turd in someone's face, but, you know, someone does something to him and he cries about it.
So, who told you could saw a desk up?
Well, I checked my bank account and I had just enough to pay for one just like this.
Yeah, okay.
So I figured
I hope so, because you're going to have to. All right.
That's what actually, send a bill to the record company.
What's that?
That's what record company.
Okay, no, I hope they're prepared to pay for it, because I'd be awesome pissed off right now. No, I mean, no, I'm actually kind of really pissed off right now. Are you angry about this?
Did I know about this? Yeah. He told me to do it. No, no, no. He didn't. No, he didn't. I'm just. I won't get it. I take full responsibility.
No, I know what you. How much did the desk cost?
Thousands of dollars.
Yeah, thousands. Because we had it made. We had it specially made.
Well, they told me
Thousands
it was
dollars.
handed down through the Green family.
Oh, I know
for
you're
hundreds
coming
of
out
years.
here and you're trying to be crazy and you're gonna with your little saw.
No, that's I go out every night and up with my little saw.
Yeah, no, it's probably really funny. Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah. Does it get a laugh normally or?
Just did.
Yeah. Okay.
Just all kinds of.
Oh, well, that's cool. So, tell me about your little rinky-dink show that you do.
Actually, it's just a damn rock and roll show, just full tilt, two guitar, bass, and drums, chainsaw, if you will, whatever it takes to get the job done.
Yeah, yeah. And you do a lot of funny stuff like this, like up people's stuff.
Yeah, and occasionally myself. Occasionally I'll slip up and myself.
Cool. Okay. Well, you know, I mean,
I've
are you all right?
myself
Are you all right, Bert? Are you okay? What should I do here? You're a producer. You've been in television a long time. You produced the Jerry Springer Show. What should I do here? Should I act like this is cool? Like this dude came out here, up our desk, and I don't care? And then go on and have some interview where I'm really nice to him about his little rock and roll band? Or should I just move on and do what we were supposed to do?
I think it's your show. You should do what you want to do.
Okay. I'm going to pretend... I'm actually going to pretend now that I'm not pissed off and that everything's all cool.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, I don't have a good feeling for Tom Green, even though he's, you know, I did see some of his recent interviews and stuff, and yeah, sure, he's like normal now, but...
In a weird way, not to be a dick. Well, I guess I could be a dick to Tom Green because he's a dick to everyone else. But I always felt like he just kind of faded out of relevance and he's just Tom Green now. Like, I guess some people still know him, but like you said, he kind of stopped that pretty fast and he just figured out that that's not what it is now.
Yeah, that style of comedy died quick, you know?
Yeah. But he capitalized on it and got $14 million.
Got Shaq to appear in his movie.
So more power to him. I mean, he capitalized on like a very specific time that needed to be. Because past the mid-2000s, I was already done.
Yeah, didn't last super long. And I guess he was influential to me in a way. You know, I thought he was funny, and I gotta admit here and now that I would take some Tom Green isms into my real life with, like, me and my friends had a little video camera and we would film stuff all the time in high school. And I did some gross out shit in my day, I guess, partially inspired by Tom Green. I may have yelled in some faces in my day. So, you know, maybe I'm a problem too. Let's get into ratings. We're going to do it on any rating scale you want in classic Big Dumb Movie fashion. I'll go to you first, Alan. On any rating scale you want, what's it going to be, man?
I'm going to say 2 out of 10 sausages. And I'm going to give it a 2 just because it was obviously terrible, but there were some funny small things like we mentioned, like the kid, his friends. Freddy was kind of funny even though he didn't really have that much parts. And there was Rip Torn was good. So it was a terrible movie, but there was little things that I'd give it a 2. But I'm not giving it more than that.
Yeah, it's like there's almost something in some of the scenes, you know? But, like, I feel like it's always 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Every joke, right? I might as well go next. I'm kind of with you, Alan. Your ratings and mine have been wildly inconsistent. I think you gave Theodore Rex -1 million or something. Which, granted, that is like the worst movie ever made. But, this one, I'm going to give it 2 out of 10 as well. Gallons of elephant semen, which is the only metric to use, I think. Occasionally, you'll get something funny in there. This is one of those movies, though, that's way better to talk about. It's way more funny to talk about than it is to actually endure, because it's a fucking challenge at times to sit through it. It's not even like a real movie. And people online that say, like, oh, it's supposed to be bad? What kind of fucking argument is that, dude? How does that make something good, saying it's supposed to be bad? That is insane. That's literally no excuse for this. You know, Anthony Michael Hall said it best in this movie when he's talking about Tom Green's cartoon pitch. And he's saying there's nothing there. Like, there has to be something. That is very much the case for this movie. Tom Green is a relic of the past. You know, it's weird going back to it. But this is, by definition, a Big Dumb movie. So it fits in nicely, sure. Alex, the fantasy hustler himself, what are you going to give this movie? Any rating scale you want.
Well, for all those people who said that this is supposed to be a bad movie, it is a bad movie. Your guys' ratings blow mine out of the water. It's a 0.5 star out of 10. not even 1. It's so bad and so cringeworthy. Like when this movie came out, what was I, 15 years old? Oh shit! I remember thinking then, this looks like the stupidest piece of shit like ever, and I did not watch it. And it took me doing a podcast this many years later to be able to watch it, to realize it's the stupidest piece of shit that was ever made. It's got the funniest part to me. The 2 funny parts are when he gets shut down the first time and he's, I'm gonna blow my brains out. Yeah. That part, and then the whole the scene where he's talking on the kitchen portable phone. Like, those are like, that's it for me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some moments in there, kind of just sprinkled in. I would say, Alex, the next one I have you on will be a better movie. But we got to do a movie with Shaq, and none of them are good. So it's not going to be a good movie. It's going to probably be Steel. Have you guys seen Steel?
I know of it.
Shaq is a superhero. Steel is a character that... Oh, man. Try to get some DC comic lore here.
He failed, though, right? He never got, like, popular.
No, he never got super popular, but he was, like, a guy that did not have superpowers that, like, became a superhero after Superman died. After Death of Superman. So he was like, the world needs more crime fighters. Superman is dead. I'm going to wear this metal steel suit, have a giant hammer, and just clobber criminals. So it's, in the movie, Shaq becomes that guy. Now, I don't think Superman is mentioned in the movie at all, but anyway. Steel, you know, obviously inspired by Man of Steel. Real fucking bad movie. Worse than Kazam, if you can believe it. Worse than the Snaggletooth.
I remember the outfit, and it looks like RoboCop almost.
Oh, it's like super low rent. Like, it's not even... Comparing it to RoboCop is a crime.
Okay.
I want to thank you both for being here. Alan, you don't show up very often for podcasts. I really do thank you for being on this one.
Of course.
And then, of course, Alex, the fantasy hustler, thank you for coming out here. We're actually doing this in person, all of us. So Alex, who is a Vegas local, has made a trip out to California, and he's here doing a podcast with us. Alex, maybe you can tell the listeners more about what you do and where they can find you.
Yeah, so we do a lot of sports stuff and a lot of movie stuff. So my main podcast is the Fantasy Football Hustler. It's at FF Hustler 420 everywhere. We do a lot of YouTube live streams, a lot of fantasy football stuff. And then the other podcast that we have is the Silver Screen Breakdown. So that one we have about 2 years worth of episodes. We're at a little mini hiatus right now, but lot of good. We do the opposite we tried to go with not the dumb movies. We tried to go with the cinema greatness. But then, of course, after you go through a couple, then you got to go start doing the stupid dumb movies from the 90s because we all love them and they are way more fun to talk about than to actually watch.
Yeah, they show up every now and then in every podcast, you know, those 90s classics. Definitely check out Silver Screen Breakdowns. I've been on that podcast. We talked about Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, right? We talked about Surf Ninjas, All-Timer. So yeah, check that out. You, the listeners, if you're ever thinking about watching Freddy Got Fingered, don't do it. Do something else with your life. But thank you for listening. If you want to contact us, it's bigdumbmovie@gmail.com. My biggest ask for any listener is to leave us a positive rating and written review on Apple Podcasts. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube, even if you don't listen there. That'll help us out. And yeah, we appreciate you listening. And I appreciate you both for being here and for enduring the trauma that is Freddy Got Fingered. Even though it's your fault, Alan.
It was hard.
That's all we got for this time. Thank you for listening. We love you. And good night.
See ya.